because like
All right, we are live. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Thursday Book Club. It is Chapter 3, Tyrion 1. And tonight, we have a very special guest with us. Somebody I've been wanting to have on since On of Thrones in Dallas. But she didn't get to make it because she had a family commitment pop up. And that's fine because family is always the most important thing. And but we got her tonight. We got Cammy O from Gangbangers of Thrones Hangouts group, and she's gonna throw a link. If you want to join that group, please do so. Everybody's welcome there. Everybody's nice. If somebody gets out of line, then they get told, "Hey, that wasn't right." And but it's a really good group. We share links, we share love, and we share hurt. On there, and it's just a good group, and it's been going for how long, Cammy?
Well, actually, funny you asked that because the 2-year anniversary is the night of the premiere.
Yeah,
well, that's amazing.
Give or take a week or so.
It's like right at. It's like right at literally.
And so all I know is that everybody there is awesome and we're all friends and it's just great. So, by the way, hi, all my bangers and everybody else in the Game of Thrones community family, the Game of Thrones community family, the Game of Thrones community family. Okay, I'll shut up.
But it's so great to have you on here.
And thank you for having me.
If you'll introduce yourself. Oh, and I wanted to say something real quick, though. Cammy hasn't read all the books, but that's okay. As y'all know here, we've had people who are just show watchers, and it always brings a little bit of a different perspective. Because I tell you, my husband is only a show watcher, and sometimes he'll pick out something that I never even thought of because I'm too invested. It's hard to explain. But
I think everybody that knows me, I haven't read the books by now. if you don't, you haven't been paying attention.
You know what? Like I said, until basically the Red Wedding, the adaptation is done really well. Last week, especially, the Sansa chapter was played out beautifully on screen. This week, there's a little bit of artistic license was used, but still, we definitely get the same gist. All right, yes.
Okay, I was on mute. Sorry about that. Sorry in the beginning. I think I was the one echoing. Hi, I'm Liz. I'm excited to talk about this chapter because I've also been doing a little rewatch of season 2, which is the beginning of this book anyways. So it's really interesting, and doing it at the same time is giving me another perspective as well. And you can follow me on Twitter. I'm Castalia Reed on Twitter. All my links are in the descriptions. You can find me on Quora asking and answering lots of questions about Game of Thrones, especially as we are like less than 20 days away from the new season. So getting excited about that. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about Tyrion tonight. Tyrion first chapter. So next.
All right, Miss Bree Vengeance.
Oh, is it me? I was waiting for Brant, honestly, because I'm used to that. Okay. Hi, everybody. I am Revengeance, and you guys know me from, everywhere. Bangers, Facebook. Yeah, I'm on Twitter and Instagram and all them too, but I don't really keep up with them too good. And yeah, we've been doing stuff on here. We've been doing stuff on my channel. We just did a Dunk and Egg with Stacy over there, and we're going to be doing, me and Cammy actually are doing something tomorrow. We're not telling you what, just you got to be there. You already forgot. Oh my goodness.
I didn't forget.
Nice. Okay. A secret.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Hey, you can see me a little bit there. That was nice. Okay. So yeah, we are doing something on my channel tomorrow, and it's just going to be a little surprise thing. So some random thing. So me and Cammy are doing something tomorrow, yeah. And who knows who else will be there. And
maybe Felicia again.
Huh?
Maybe Felicia again. You and Felicia.
Yeah, Felicia, I'm still waiting to do some more on the Dance of Dragons with you and other stuff too. So I hope your sleep pattern is back to normal now that tennis is over. Is tennis all over? I think. I don't know. Brandon and me will be doing the 7. I'm waiting on him. And so he'll let you know. I'll go ahead and let this lead up to him. So go ahead, Brandwick.
Hello, I'm on Amino and my Facebook's in the description. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff with Bree. I'm still going to be on book club, and I'm probably going to be starting some stuff on my channel talking about where I'm at based on the books, which I'm on Feast for Crows now. I've read the epilogue. And yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Bran, you kind of faded out there, babe.
I know, we just figured out.
What did you not hear?
I heard you, Bran.
We're having a little bit of delay, I hear. All right. I'm not sure what I didn't hear. I guess just repeat what the next few things are that you got coming up.
I'm going to be with on book club, and I'm going to be with Ree on her channel, and I'm going to start some stuff on my channel about where I'm at based on in the books.
Well, that's great. Well, of course, always keep us informed. That's great.
Oh, and yeah, that's going to be really interesting when you doing the books. I'm kind of excited about that, Brand, because you're like a first-time reader too. So, Cammy, where you haven't read the books at all, this is his first time. So he's new.
Really?
Yeah, he's new.
Oh, that's right. But boy, he sure does a good job. You really do, Brand.
Thank you, Cammy.
I mean, not only do I have the audio sets even, and I haven't even listened to them. So.
And you have insomnia.
Sometimes it just takes the right circumstance to get you into something, God forbid, but one day maybe your power will go out and you'll be like, damn, all I can do is read a book.
Right. Don't jinx me.
God forbid, maybe somebody will go to jail and they'll have a copy of Game of Thrones on the book card.
If my power goes out, I'm coming to
you. Know what? I actually seen that in a movie, and I can't remember what movie it was right now. I want to say it was that Lucky movie or something.
Yes, it was one about they were doing a heist. It was a heist movie.
Yeah, the Lucky one. Yeah, with
I saw that, and they were like, they didn't know that
when they were in the prison about Game of Thrones, they were like all into it because they had been watching it.
And they were like, we want the 6th book, and they were like, the 6th book hasn't come out, and the guy was like, you're lying,
right? And they like for real started a riot over it. It was hilarious.
Yeah, because everybody wanted to. I had a friend who got in trouble and was in jail, and it's a shame. There's a lot of people in jail who are actually in jail because they cannot pay fines.
Oh,
which
yeah.
It's technically constitutionally illegal, but it still happens.
Yep.
But I knew a girl who completely got into the True Blood series because they had those books there, and she had read, I think I quit reading them at like 13 because they just got super ridiculous. But when she was getting out, started, and she was like so excited, and she was way, above the curve of the average fan because she had been reading, the same 10 books for like 6 months.
I didn't read them that much, but I've read them the whole series probably twice, 2 or 3 times, maybe. It was just because I like to. When I get into a series, I just get into it. Nothing like I have Game of Thrones though. Never. But True Blood, I did the books and the series, and I've done that with a couple of them. And I like to go back and redo them both. Like I'll watch the show and then I'll be like, you know what? Now I want to read the books, and I'll go back and read the books again.
Yeah.
I do that with Anne Rice a lot too.
I love Anne Rice, and when
More than
you
anybody I
come
know.
down, I'll take you to her house. Like
Me
any
too.
tour you go on, like if you want to ride the mules or the horses on the carriage tour or whatever, they
Yep.
take you by her house and they go, oh, that's the house of Anne Rice, you know, and
That was the thing I wanted to do when I went. I got so pissed because I wanted to do the Charles tour, do the Anne Rice tour, and do the cemetery tour. That was my list. That was it.
Yeah, we'll
And
do
I got
it.
to do
No problem.
none of
You know, I
anything.
love doing that stuff, and there's so many. You know, you can even when you're on the trolley, which is like I should write a book called New Orleans Done on the Dime, because like even when you're on the trolley, which is only like $1.50, I think, to ride one way, or you can get I think an all-day pass for 3 days or a monthly pass for $20. When you're on the trolley, usually the trolley drivers even will point out, you know, landmarks and things or different things that happen. And that's nothing special. That's just every day in New Orleans. And
I love that.
to get the cheaper drinks, you know, and City Park is so beautiful. There's just so many things in New Orleans. You can also do a tour like, because the ghost and cemetery tours, you can do walk-in, you can do in the carriage, or you can do on bicycle, or you can even do, what are those things like Steve Jobs or what are the billionaires used to a Segway?
Oh yeah, them.
Segway tours. I'm not making this up, and we also I see this in bigger cities.
They do have hacksaws there. They're like, for real. Like they will fucking carry your ass around there.
Right. And then there's bikes all around the city. These bikes. You get one.
They offered us while we were like, for real? I was like, fuck it. They got a St. Augustine too.
And but anyway, you can actually like download a couple of the tours on the phone and then you know start it and listen to it, and it tells you which way to go, and then you know gives you the audio to what landmark you're looking at. You don't have a tour guide or anything. You just do it at your own pace. So there's a lot of ways to do New Orleans on a budget. Anyway, and with that, let's go right on into the chapter, which I'm taking the overview on tonight. Okay, so last week we were in Sansa, and I wanted to just note that the very last thing said in the chapter last week, in the Sansa chapter, was Sansa having a thought about Tyrion. So I wanted to go over that first and foremost.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So Sansa watched him, and if you guys will remember, and this is what I was also talking about, last week's chapter was so perfectly done, really adapted for the screen, but
I really loved how last week's chapter and this week's chapter really intertwine.
Yeah, they do. They do.
And hey, Nancy in the chat. Sorry for interrupting you, Jen.
No, you can always interrupt me, babe. Oh, and also I wanted to say there's some book club t-shirts if you'd like to get one. And they go all the way up to 5X, small to 5X. And I made sure of that because I have my brother's rather larger, and he I felt so bad a few Christmases ago, y'all. I ordered him a shirt from Redbubble, and it was the Kingslayer Brothers shirt, and I got him the biggest one they had, and it didn't fit, and he was like, you know, it's really hard to find shirts for me. So that's why I had chosen that, and there's 3 different colors, and if you'd like to get one, please do so. Also, check out on Etsy, Brittany Kings Fire and Suds bath and makeup products. Wonderful, organic, handmade, a throner. Let's support her. I also do have Patreon, which just really honestly goes to paying for cable and maybe getting a better webcam, but we'll see. And there's also GoFundMe. If you want to do that, if anybody puts some GoFundMe up, what I'd really like to use that for is to order a few t-shirts and give them away. Okay. Well, with that, so last week was the Sansa chapter. And if you were
Sorry, I just read what Amanda said, living on a prayer. She's not, I love you, Amanda.
I know I have to watch the chat for a minute, but take my hand, we'll make it, I swear. Oh, living on a prayer.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think we lost a couple people. No, I'm kidding.
Damn, Cam.
I can be a Japanese karaoke star.
Y'all see my shirt? That's just blowing up like wildfire. Y'all see that? It glows in the dark. That came in my It's the Battle of Wildfire or Battle of Blackwater shirt.
Okay,
and
where did that come from?
Culture Fly. And then I got a throw that's just not the same, that has Houses of Westeros on it, but it's just not a Nancy T blanket. So it's just not the same. So my daughter can play with that one. So
and she couldn't come, but she's here in spirit. Okay, so
yes. No, she is here. She's here in chat. She's here in chat.
Yes.
Oh, Moni. Oh, yeah. No, I was talking to you.
No, Nancy T had a standing engagement. But let me get to
you. Nancy is here. That's what I just said. Nancy's here.
Nancy T, mother of blankets, and
mother of blankets. Yeah, she's in the chat. Yeah,
she must have sent out 50 of those or more.
Oh man, I tell you what, that's like the best blanket ever. Like you ruined me, like for real.
Yeah.
Cool. That's on.
And that was a cute little nice throw they sent with Culture Fly, but I was like, my daughter's trying to get it. Take that one.
It works for more than just a blanket, you know. I mean, it's
great. I love that.
You had it behind him in a stream.
Oh yeah.
So this though, last week we had the Sansa chapter, and in the Sansa chapter, if you guys will remember, this is when she saves Sir Dantos from basically getting drowned in a bottle of wine, and making Johnny really think it's his idea. And also with a little help from the Hound. And this is what she says about Tyrion when he leaves, because Tyrion comes up and greets Joffrey when he gets to King's Landing. Sansa watched him walk off, his body swaying heavily from side to side with every step, like something from a grotesquerie. He speaks more gently than Joffrey, she thought, but the Queen spoke to me gently too. He's still a Lannister, her brother and Joff's uncle. No friend. Once she had loved Prince Joffrey with all her heart and admired and trusted his mother, the Queen. They had repaid that love and trust with her father's head. Sansa would never make that mistake again. So I wanted to bring that up, since we do know that they later gets married, and that she does later, you know, she thinks well of Tyrion as a person, actually.
I got a theory about all that when we're done later.
What, Liz?
That I got a theory about all that, and I think it's all going to play out in season 8. Anyways, but go to the. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine, and we'll talk about that. Let me get us through this overview, and then let's touch on that. And if you want, let's also touch on Timon, because he's mentioned in this as well. So basically, Tyrion has been sent to King's Landing after a bunch of shit. He's been at the Sky Sails in the Vale, escaped death there, escaped an attack on the way up there from the Hill Tribes, lived through a real battle that his father put him in. I go back and forth in between whether or not his father was trying to kill him or not, truly, because at the time the only son he had possession of, you know. But Tyrion has a message from his father, and he has to take it to the queen, Cersei. Cersei is in a small council meeting, and he goes to the door, and we meet the King's Guard, Sir Mandon Moore. And Tyrion notes that Sir Mandon Moore looked like a corpse in a shroud. Her Grace left orders. The council is in session and is not to be disturbed. It would only be a small disturbance, sir. Tyrion slid the parchment from his sleeve. I bear a letter from my father, Lord Tywin Lannister, the hand of the king. There is his seal. Anyway, so they go on to have a bit of conversation, and Tyrion actually has Bronn and Timett with him, and he says, you know, do you know Sir Vardis Egan? He's like, I know the man, and he's like, you know, kind of just kind of a lightly veiled, I think, show of strength, because Tyrion is feeling like, you know, if I can't even get through the door of the council chamber, this is not a good start. But and then he also thinks to himself that what Jaime has to say about Sir Mandon Moore is that he's actually the most dangerous of the King's Guard, other than himself, because
I've heard Sir Mandon Moore was like known to be the best fighter next to Jaime. Sorry.
No, you're good. No, yeah, that's what Jaime told Tyrion. And Tyrion notes to himself that is true, that he wears a mask of, you know, you don't know what he's thinking.
Yeah.
And then he thinks to himself, you know, Bronn and Timett can take him with swords, but that would look bad for his first act to be him. It would, Cersei and Joffrey are going to feel threatened, and he knows that because he knows his sister. And so it's not a good look for one of the first things he does is to kill a King's Guard.
Exactly. Bronn would be
he says, be that as it may, I truly must see my sister. And kind of grudgingly, he steps aside and he says, well, you can go in, but they can't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so he goes in, and Cersei, right from the jump, is like, you.
Right here.
Can I say something really quick? When we're talking about Mandon Moore not wanting them to go in, is because he realizes that Bronn is the one that killed Vargas in the Vale.
Yeah, he recognized him.
Yeah, and he's scared of.
He just knows he's a badass sellsword.
He's scared of the mountain too. He's scared of Timett. Yeah.
Like there's like there's actually is a threat, you know, like actually, you know, Tyrion's got a bit of weight behind him.
Right. So this is like this was Tyrion's first victory. This was considered like his first battle won, is how he looked at it.
Oh, thank you, Amanda Duncan. Amanda Duncan points out Sir Mandon is from the Vale. So,
he is. Yeah, so that's probably another reason why he doesn't like him. Yeah. I wonder if that has anything to do with why he comes after him at the Battle of Blackwater. If it really is Cersei that was behind it, or if that was Littlefinger's doing now. That makes me wonder.
That was behind it.
You what?
I thought it was Joffrey.
I would say it
was Joffrey too.
I thought it was Cersei that sent him to kill her. I thought like she admitted it or whatever.
But it might have been Littlefinger. I think.
Now I think Littlefinger actually,
because he get to that part.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait for that. I love that.
I haven't read the book. I guess more than one person is behind it. You know.
Amanda D says at Team Bronn, she's holding up for her. I guess she's Team Castle in Geek Chat.
Oh, yeah. If you don't get a castle, then the show was pointless. That man better get a castle, or the whole show was pointless.
Castle already.
And then Amanda, our Aussie, says, Amanda, if you don't mind, put in your initial to your last name so I can separate the two of y'all.
Do you realize how many Amandas are in here?
Amanda Duncan, Amanda Living on a Prayer, Amanda,
And the mandolin.
which I know
That's
it's
Mandy.
So,
So I guess we call her Mandy, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I do, and I like
Yeah.
that name. I had a really good friend in high school, Mandy Parker, and she was
I had Mandy Briley.
right. She was super sweet. So I'm glad to know
That was my Louisiana girl.
I'm glad to know another Mandy. You know, some people don't like to go by the shorter form of their name, but I don't mind Jen. That's fine. Nobody calls me Jenny. Nobody calls me Jenny.
Right.
Nobody but my grandmother. I would allow my grandmother would call me.
We go together like peas and carrots, don't I?
And I have a best friend, Holly. I hope she can stream with us sometime. She's a high school teacher. You guys love her. She actually put in to do Game of Thrones for the book she got to pick for her honors students to read, and the school turned her down. And I told her, I said, well, do Duncan, see if you can do Dunkin' Egg, you know. And she said, I had to go ahead and pick something, but I'll look into that for next year.
So anyway, you were saying that I'm going into the small council, and one of my favorite quotes.
Yeah, and Tyrion pulls out the parchment, the letter, the scroll, the missive, what have you.
Right, he hands it to Varys.
Yeah, and hands it to Varys, and he goes, looks like it's real gold. And so that struck me.
And Varys couldn't even finish reading it before Cersei stood up and said, "Out, everybody out!"
Right, but in the book that she says, one of them says, "Oh yeah." They're arguing over whether or not it's legitimate, and they're like, it almost looks like real gold, and Cersei's like, because it is, you know. So that to me struck me as a little bit funny, the way, you know, she was certainly very focused on that.
Right.
So then she's like, this is absurd. My Lord Father has sent my brother to sit in his place in this council. He bids us accept Tyrion at the hand of King until such a time as he himself can join us. Grandmaster Purcell stroked his flowing white beard and nodded ponderously. It would seem that a welcome is in order. Indeed, jolly Geno Slint looked rather like a frog, a smug frog who had gotten rather above himself. We have sore need of you, my lord. Rebellion everywhere. This grim omen from the sky, rioting in the city. And then Cersei. And whose fault is that? You know, and Lena does such a good job of dressing down Geno Slint in the shadow.
Yeah.
You know, do you not, are you not
tell her it's your fault?
Do you not hold a castle at my command? Well, then do what it is I tell you to do. You know, yeah, very much so. And whose fault is that, Lord Genos? Your gold cloaks are charged with keeping order. As to you, Tyrion, you could better serve us in the field of battle. He laughed. No, I'm done with fields of battle, thank you. I sit a chair better than a horse, and I'd sooner hold a wine goblet than a battle. All about the thunder of the drums, sunlight, flashing of armor, magnificent destriers, snorting and prancing. Well, the drums gave me headaches. The sunlight flashing on my armor cooked me like a harvest day goose, and those magnificent destriers shit everywhere. Not that I am complaining. Compared to the hospitality I enjoyed in the Vale of Arryn, drums, horse shit, and fly bites are my favorite things. And Littlefinger laughs. Well said, Lannister, a man after my own heart. Tyrion smiled at him, remembering a certain dagger with a dragon bone hilt and a Valyrian steel blade. Yeah, we must have a talk about that, and soon. He wondered if Lord Peter would find that subject amusing. Yeah, okay, so remember, he knows. Tyrion already knows that was bullshit about the dagger.
Right.
So then Cersei's still super pissed. She's like, how many men have you brought with me? Because she basically wrote to Tywin asking for an army because she is really worried about Renly and Stannis. And Tyrion says to her, you know, Lord Tywin is in Harrenhal with his host. If you care to take it up with him, my lords, perchance you would permit me a private word with my sister. I mean, after he tells her that he bought his men, a few hundred men. And Genos Slint rose hesitantly, Grand Maester Pycelle ponderously, yet they rose, and Littlefinger was the last. Shall I tell the steward to prepare the chambers and makers hold fast? No thanks, he tells him. He's going to stay in the Tower of the Hand. And Littlefinger says, well, I hope you have better luck than the last two who stood there. And then Tyrion tells him, Aerys Targaryen's last hand was killed during the sack of King's Landing. Though I doubt he'd had time to settle into the tower, he was only hand for a fortnight. The one before him was burned to death, and before them came two others who died landless and penniless in exile and counted themselves lucky. I believe my Lord Father was the last hand to depart King's Landing with his name, properties, and parts all intact. Littlefinger says, fascinating. And all the more reason I'd sooner bed down in the dungeon. And then Tyrion thinks to himself, perhaps you'll get your wish.
And you know what? And that was a cool point that right there, because that was actually 4 hands that died, 2 that went into exile, one of which is John Connington.
It's also interesting that we specifically get them saying that Tywin made it out of the Hand of the King's Tower.
Yeah, I think it's foreshadowing.
Right.
Yeah, that's foreshadowing for sure.
And even Tyrion kind of, and foreshadowing Tyrion will kill him because he said, I might escape out. I'm small enough, I might escape out. Yeah. I don't know.
Yep.
A lot of foreshadowing there.
That's exactly what okay. Yep. That's what I was kind of going to. All right. Go ahead. I love it when we all zone in like that.
This small council scene is my favorite. It's got one or two of my favorite quotes, and just the way Tyrion put Cersei in her place. I just love it. Okay, go ahead, Jen.
Yeah, and another thing, Cammy, I want you to know, they made them have even kind of a slight little rapport in the show. In the book, they really don't have that. Not really at all.
Tyrion. Good to know. Good to know. Because there's been a couple of times they had a little rapport.
Yeah, there is. And I enjoyed it, actually.
Yeah. Like that time she was kind of sad, and Tyrion kind of...
he cheered her up. And they had wine. That's exactly what I was thinking of, too.
Yeah.
So, but in the book, it's not like that. Cersei just hates him with a passion. Like it's not like she can't stand to look at him.
Well, the books are GRRM, the show's D&D, and I've said, you know what I'm saying? So,
right.
GRRM is a little bit more, I don't know the word, but with him, it's not going to end well. And with D&D, it might be kind of a wishy-washy ending just because they're fanboys. I don't know.
All righty. Okay, so that's where I was. Okay, so everybody gets out, and everyone gets out, and he's like, I hope Father did not send you to plague us with history lessons. And he says, oh, how I have yearned for the sound of your sweet voice, sister. How I have yearned to have that eunuch's tongue pulled out with hot pincers, Cersei replied. Has Father lost his senses, or did you forge this letter? She read it once more with mounting annoyance. Why would he inflict you on me? I wanted him to come himself. She crushed Lord Tywin's letter in her fingers. I am Joffrey's regent, and I sent him a royal command. And Tyrion says, and he ignored you. He has quite a large army, and he can do that. Nor is he the first, is he? Cersei's mouth tightened. I do not require your help. It was our father's presence that I commanded, yes, but it's Jaime you want. His sister fancied herself subtle, but he had grown up with her. He could read her face like a favorite book. And what he read now was rage, fear, and despair. How the Stark boy and his mother are not like to forget that we beheaded Lord Eddard. True. You Yet you still hold his daughters, don't you? I saw the older girl on the yard with Joffrey. Sansa, I've given it out that I have the younger bride as well, but it's a lie. I sent Meryn Trant to take her in hand when Robert died, but her wretched dancing master interfered and the girl fled. No one has seen her since. Likely she's dead. A great many people died that day. Tyrion had hoped for both Stark girls, but he supposed one would have to do. Tell me about our friends on the council. What of them? Father seems to suspect that there is some that are not allies. Tywin suspects that not everybody on the council is their friends, is friends of the Lannisters.
Right. That's why he sent Tyrion. He doesn't really trust him so much.
Right. Yeah. And also because
of the whole dead and all that. Yeah.
They could have easily traded Eddard for Jaime.
Right.
You know, and actually they probably just to get on with it and to say, and then what they could have done, really should have done, was have told Eddard they were going to kill his daughters unless he bent the damn. Well, they probably would have kept Sansa to marry Joffrey as a hostage, right? And then sent Eddard and Arya home. You know, saying if you ever step out of line again, that would have been the smart move.
That would have been a normal move under any other king, you know?
Right, which is exactly why you get these dynastic marriages and this, you know, not hostage, but this, what do they call it, Brian, when they send, like they sent Ned to the Vale to be,
wards. Wards.
Yes, wards. I'm sorry, Liz. Yes, exactly. I mean,
thank you, Liz.
Sorry, Brian.
Yeah. A light way of
yeah.
So then Tyrion goes on his business with Eddard Stark, the Queen Grimace. He was instructed to pardon Stark, to allow him to take the Black. The man would have been out of our way forever, and we might have made peace with that son of his. But Joff took it upon himself to give the mob a better show. What was I to do? He called for Lord Eddard's head in front of half the city, and Genos Slint and Sir Ilyn went ahead blithely and shortened the man without a word from me. Her hand tightened into a fist. The High Septon claims we profaned Baelor Sept with blood, and after lying to him about our intent. It would seem he has a point, said Tyrion. So this Lord Slint, he was part of it, was he? Tell me, whose fine notion was it to grant him Harrenhal and name him to the council? Littlefinger made the arrangements. We needed Slint's gold cloaks. Eddard Stark was plotting with Renly and he'd written to Lord Stannis offering him the throne. He might have lost all. Even so, it was a close thing. If Sansa hadn't come to me and told me of her father's plan, Tyrion was surprised. Truly? His own daughter? Sansa had always seemed such a sweet child, tender and courteous. The girl was wet with love. She would have done anything for Joffrey until he cut her father's head off and called it mercy. That put an end to that. And Tyrion says, His Grace has a unique way of winning the hearts of his subjects. Was it Joffrey's wish to dismiss Sir Barristan Selmy from the King's Guard too? Joff wanted to blame someone for Robert's death. Varys suggested Sir Barristan. So look, y'all, we've got two people who are actually sitting up, acting like they're friends of the Lannisters, working against them. Both Varys and Littlefinger, which we know because because of later, but I mean, we see it right here in black and white because both of those moves were dumb as hell.
Right.
Does anybody have anything to say about that?
Say that again.
Just about what was like Tyrion's questioning her, because really, I think Tywin has sent him to be the hand or whatever, but I really think he's sent him because he knows that Tyrion is kind of stealthy and he'll weed out who he. Tywin knows Tyrion is very intelligent, and he knows
that he can do the job. And then just how he acted, and well, come on, he got his own way out of. Hey, Moni, honey.
Hey, Moni G.
Just how he got his way out of the Vale, out of the clutch on his own, got his own army, showed up, and handled everything. And then how he reacted about, like when he shattered the glass and all about, there's your piece now. And how, just
Right.
fucking Tyrion, how he is. Tywin knows how smart he is. He knows his genius, and he knows his strengths, and he knows that the best place he can put him is there. He can send him there to clean up the mess, and then he can step in and take the credit.
Right.
Exactly what he does.
Tyrion. I really identify with Tyrion. I really identify with Tyrion. And I think that's why Tyrion is such a beloved character as well.
Yeah.
Especially Tyrion. Because how often is it, you guys, that you do something very selfless and help people and you don't get so much as a thank you?
He's got the biggest heart of all the Lannisters.
He just like Sansa said, just like our girl Liz said.
And probably the biggest brain, too, even smarter than Tywin.
Right, he is. And just like Liz, like Sansa said, Tyrion's not like the other Lannisters.
Right. Well, he even made a deal with Cersei right there. He said, I won't hurt Joffrey. It'll only be threats as long as you don't hurt Sansa.
Right. Very smart. Very well played. Liz,
no harm better come to her.
What do you think about Tyrion and how she feels about Sansa? For a while, I thought how everything was going to end was Sansa and Tyrion together and possibly fostering a magical baby.
No, I would. If that happens, I would burn my books.
You might burn your books then, because that's just what I think. I think that's not going to
be. She's going to kill Tyrion, but we get to that part. I'll tell you
what. You think Sansa's going to kill Tyrion?
Yes, 100%.
Let's get through the overview, but everybody, y'all remember, we got to hear Liz's
I'll talk to you later about that.
Tyrion.
I want to bring it.
Mentioned before.
Oh, we ain't got to the part yet. Okay, when you get to the end, I want to bring something up at the end. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Can I say something?
Let me just read out "Living on a Prayer." Amanda's point. Just a point from the last chapter. Sansa said to herself, "Is courteous like wearing armor." That one line makes me look at Sansa in a whole new light.
Right.
That's so great about Sansa. And let's be honest. How many times have you been in a situation? I know all of us on the panel have worked out in the public, and maybe somebody was a bit rough or having a bad day, and you were polite to them, and it changed the situation. It changed the situation.
Talking about how
you get more with flies with honey than with vinegar.
You get even more with shit.
To me. Go ahead, Moni.
You get even more flies with shit.
True.
Sometimes you give somebody 500,000 chances and they steal.
I know. I like sugar and vinegar. I'm not a big fan of shit.
Either you're a good, honest, above board person or you're not. And I think that's what the books say a lot over and over again. But
it's like a lot when Tyrion went up to Sansa and said, "Sorry for your loss, my lady." Remember that's because that's that episode.
And then Joffrey's like, "What? Are you?" Yeah, and even Tyrion is just like, it's so obvious in that scene.
It's still her dad, nonetheless.
Right? Just like he was like, and then he goes, "Well, I thought you would feel like."
I thought you'd feel something because you just lost your own dad. Yeah. Jinx.
Good point, Cammy. Good point.
I made a good point.
Oh, wow.
And I also want to point out, even though it was last week, that's when we get that's when we get Lady Sansa, you might outlive all of us. You might is it that the chapter where we get that, Liz, where it says
it's coming up soon because I know I'm just watching season
okay,
2.
yeah, because see, Tyrion's woke.
It was right after she nearly got raped and the Hound saved her. It was right after that.
Yeah, I think it's in Sansa's next chapter. It's when it happens when Rob when she's getting beat in the throne room.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I was wrong. That's right.
Comes to put an end to that. So it happens soon.
Right.
Maybe in her next chapter that we have. I'm not positive.
Joffrey's my one true love. She still says that holding her shawl together, that's been ripped. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's coming soon that she says that.
You guys, Carlise is in the chat with us from the Imagination Realm.
Oh, yes.
That is a group that is on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, she posts, it's a blog.
It's pretty cool. I didn't know it was the whole thing up there.
It's very, very good. She posts articles.
She does. Y'all be sure and follow her. She's going
to be our guest for the very first Theon chapter ever.
Yay!
There's someone else that loves Theon other than me.
Okay, Fearless Mermaid Amanda Duncan says at Reed, I didn't want him to get arrested. I told him to let the ass hat go. Oh, okay. She says, Amanda says, and I think Amanda works in customer service somewhere. I had a really nasty customer today. Then another customer, a Marine, asked me if I wanted him to go kick his ass in the parking lot. Oh, and you told him no because you didn't want him to get in trouble. Oh, wasn't that?
I told him to go. Yeah.
Just be mean to people. You know what? Let me tell y'all a story and we get back to it. Christmas Eve, a couple years ago, we were on our way home for Christmas and we stopped at a McDonald's. And I'm in line ordering. The place is busy as hell. These people are already having to work on Christmas Eve for probably $8.25 an hour, you know. And this lady comes in. She went through the drive-thru. One of these people who wants to specialize McDonald's. You know, that's really not the place, people. It's really not, you know. And she comes in. You didn't put Anna or whatever, you know, they didn't do or whatever. But she yelled it. She was very rude. And I said, ma'am, these people are in here working on Christmas Eve and working very hard. I'm sure they'll be happy to fix your order, but you don't have to be sick. And then she shut up. She did. And they fixed her order. And then the manager handed me my order. She said, yeah, you're going to find a couple extra pies, an extra cheeseburger, and an extra french fry in your order. You know, if you ever witnessed shit like that, the person at the register can't say anything, but you as another customer can. Yes, you can. And I promise you it's appreciated. So if you see somebody being ugly to a cashier or a waitress or the person at Walmart bagging groceries, say, hey, you know?
I always step up and say something. It's me.
Go be somebody's hero.
I'm one of those that I don't ever call and complain about anybody. I always call and commend employees because, you know, life is hard and work sucks.
You know it is, and you don't know what's going on. You know, we know that our Amanda has had a lot going on with Sadie's illness, with her dad's illness, with being a single woman handling everything on her own. She's already got all of that. You know, she doesn't need somebody coming into her line at work just treating her like shit. You know.
And Amanda was,
kindness goes a long way. Kill somebody with kindness, like, you know.
Sometimes people just need their ass kicked. I can't agree with that. I can't agree with that always.
It's really wrong to be rude to somebody at McDonald's, but it's morally wrong.
Yeah, I'm hurt right now though.
What?
Yes, right.
An angry person is someone who is hurting. I'm hurt right now. Yeah, I'm angry.
He has been screwed over, y'all.
Yeah. It's a bad day for me today.
I'm sorry, Ree. Yeah, you told me a little bit about it, and I'm sorry. I'm going to be praying for you. And, you know, I'm a sinner. I make mistakes, but I can admit when I'm wrong, and I pray, and I'm trying to
Y'all
always
keep me in your prayers. I mean, I'm not going to get into what's going on. Just know that she's been screwed over heavily by a landlord. Just keep her in your prayers.
Yeah, just keep her in your prayer, in her prayers. Her family needs your prayer. Needs your prayer. Prayer warriors, unite.
Yeah.
It works. It works. Whatever your God is, if it's Allah, whoever your God is,
Lord.
I need prayers from everybody. I always tell that I need as many prayers as I can get. I don't, you know, I think in the
I do.
everything is going to end up. If God is God.
Anyone interested? Mercury's coming out of retrograde now too. So
everybody. Anyway, back to the. We don't want to rub anybody the wrong way. I'm just saying I accept everybody's faith and creed or whatever. It's, you know, either you're good or you're bad. Bottom line, either you're a good person, or you're a bad person.
Jen.
Yeah.
Jen. You can rub me the wrong or the right way anytime.
Hey, I like that. But, I mean, I think basically most people are just a mixture of good and bad. But for the most part, people always have good intentions, I think. I hope. Anyway, that's what I tell myself. So back to the chapter.
No comment.
Cersei looks unhappy. And Tyrion is like, you know, he's kind of just like, who is this Janos Slint that's come out of nowhere and just that, and the other? And then he says, you know, she tells him, well, Varys said to get rid of Barristan, and then Littlefinger is the one who appointed Janos, and automatically Tyrion's on high alert. And then he said, I would never hurt Joffrey, basically. I'm here to serve. Joffrey's the king. You will just share your plans and intentions with me before you act. Do you agree? And he said, lie. I am yours, sister, for as long as I need to be here. So now that we're of one purpose, we ought to have no more secrets between us. You say Joffrey had Lord Eddard killed. Varys dismissed Sir Barristan, and Littlefinger gifted us Lord Slint, who murdered Jon Arryn. Cersei seriously says she doesn't know. And the grieving widow in the Eyrie seems to think it was me. Where did she come by that notion, I wonder? I'm sure I don't know. That fool Eddard Stark accused me of the same thing. He hinted that Lord Arryn suspected or well believed. Tyrion says that you are fucking Jamie. In the book, it says it straight out. She slaps him. And then he's like, do you think I'm as blind as father? Slaps him again. He's like, be gentle, Cersei. I'm only jesting with you. If truth be told, I'd sooner have a knife, for I never understood what Jamie saw in you, apart from his own reflection. She slapped him again. His cheeks were red and burning, but he smiled. If you keep doing that, I make it angry. That stayed her hand. Why should I care if you do? I have some friends. You won't like them at all. How did you kill Robert? He did that himself. All we did was help. His favorite sour red, but fortified. So they had drugged the wine. And then she goes on, and this is funny to me for some reason. You should have been at the feast, Tyrion. There has never been a boar so delicious. They cooked it with mushrooms and apples, and it tasted like triumph. Truly, sister, you were born to be a widow. Now, if you are done slapping me, I will be off. So, Cersei's like, well, I hadn't told you could go yet, or whatever. And then he goes on out and he's like, where's our red hand? He's talking about Timett. I hope he doesn't kill anyone important. The clan Tyrion had brought down from the mountains of the moon were loyal in their own fierce way, but proud and quarrelsome and prone to answer insults, imagined or real, with steel. Try to find him, and while you're at it, see that the rest have been quartered and fed. I want them in the barracks beneath the Tower of the Hand, but don't let the steward put the stone crows near the Moon Brothers, and tell him the burned men must have a hall to themselves. I'm riding back to the Broken Anvil. Need an escort? Ron asked. Talk, yes, the streets are dangerous. I'll call upon the captain of my sister's household guard and remind him that I am no less a Lannister than she. He needs to recall that his oath is to Casterly Rock, not to Cersei or Joffrey. An hour later, Tyrion rode from the Red Keep, accompanied by a dozen Lannister guardsmen in crimson cloaks and line-crested half-elves. And he notices how awful, truly, the people have become. So he's got to deal with it. He also realizes that they're low on food in the city. There's a famine going on. And then he bumps into Varys. Varys has already found his quarters and Shay, who he was told not to bring to the city. And their exchange goes a bit like this. Lord Varys, I had not thought to see you here. The others take him. Oh, shit. Yeah, that's why I had that. Y'all see that in there? The others take him. How did he find him so quickly? Forgive me if I intrude, Varys said. I was taken by a sudden urge to meet your young lady. Young lady, she repeated, savoring the words. You're half right, my lord. I'm young. 18, Tyrion thought. 18 and a whore, but quick of wit, nimble as a cat between his sheets, with large dark eyes, fine black hair, and a sweet, soft, little mouth. And mine. Damn you, eunuch. I fear I'm the intruder, Lord Varys, he said with forced courtesy. When I came in, you were in the midst of some merriment. My Lord Varys complimented Shella on her ears and said she must have killed many men to have such a fine necklace, they explained. It grated on him to hear her call Varys my lord in that tone. That was what she called him in their pillow play. And Shella told him only cowards kill the vanquished. Braver to leave the man alive with a chance to cleanse his shame and winning his ear back, explained Shella, a small dark woman whose gristly neckwear had hung with no less than 46 dried, wrinkled ears. Tyrion had counted them once. Only, so can you prove you do not fear your enemies? Shay hooted. And then my lord said if he was a black ear, he'd never sleep for dreams of one-eared men. Sorry, I lost my place. Good Lord.
Okay,
I'm coming. Let me finish.
Right.
So we're almost done.
Okay.
All right. So Tyrion replies that he is short, not blind. On the King's Road, it seemed to cover. My phone's messing up.
We can hear you.
I'm sorry, my phone messed up. I wanted to go ahead and get it.
All right. While Jen's paused, I want all of you to think about if you've ever smacked somebody across the face, or have you ever been smacked across the face?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, let me pull my plate.
And not just by your mama or your dad.
Yeah, no, both.
Yeah, not by a parent.
I got my cousin Nikki. I call her Tricky. That's her nickname and I also call her Precious. So figure that out. And but every time I see her, just for the hell of it, I just slap the shit out of her. And I always have, just because. But sometimes she deserves it. And I do it just playing around. But no, I've been slapped too, but just because bitches are bitches and they don't know how to fight.
Yeah.
You know.
Wait, hold please. You were slapped around by slap around your friend, like just messing around.
No,
like,
this
and
is my
leave red
cousin.
marks?
This is my cousin. No, my cousin. I don't slap her hard. Well, no, I
Okay.
have probably slapped her hard.
Maybe.
I would
All
just
right.
up to her and just slap the shit out of her.
Okay,
We'll
sorry.
get back to that. Let me
get
finish
back to
this up.
that. Go
We
ahead,
can
Jen.
move on and have chit chat.
No, go ahead. Finish. I was just
to provide an escort for him to the Broken Anvil Inn, hoping to remind the captain that his oath is to Casterly Rock and not to Cersei alone. As he leaves the Red Keep, Tyrion orders the spiked heads of Eddard Stark and his household taken down and given to the Silent Sister. When Vylar hesitates because King Joffrey ordered them to remain, Tyrion warns him that if they are not removed, one of the spikes will have his. As they ride through the city, Tyrion notices that war is having the effects. Tyrion had asked her what had been done, and she said she had tripled the city watch and has thousands of craftsmen working on the defenses, including the Alchemist Guild, which has pledged 10,000 jars of wildfire. The thought of so much wildfire makes Tyrion uncomfortable, and he asks where the money is coming from, given that Robert beggared the royal. Vylar explains that Littlefinger had introduced a tax on entering the city. Tyrion considers this clever and cruel, since tens of thousands are fleeing the war for the supposed safety of the capital. When they arrive at the inn, he dismisses Vylar and says he plans to stay the night. Okay, that's inside the inn. He finds Shay sitting with several black ears and Varys. They have their talk about Shella and her 46 years, and Tyrion replies that he is short but not blonde, but that on the King's Road it seems to cover half the sky and outshine the moon, talking about the comet. Varys tells Tyrion that on the streets it's called the Red Messenger, a herald before a king, to warn of fire and blood to follow. Before Varys leaves, he poses a riddle to Tyrion. In a room sit three great men, a king, a priest, and a rich man. With his gold between them stands a Celsius, a little man of common birth and no great mind. Each of the great ones bids him slay the other two. Do it, says the king, for I am your lawful ruler. Do it, says the priest, for I command you in the name of the gods. Do it, says the rich man, and the gold is yours. So tell me, who lives and who dies? Once Varys is gone, Shay asks if it is the rich man who lives. Tyrion is not so sure, saying it depends on the sellsword. As they climb the stairs to their room, Shay has to wait for Tyrion. Tyrion notes that he still has to look up to her, even though she is only 5 feet tall. But he does not mind since she is so sweet. Shay quickly strips and then teaches Tyrion that without her, he will never be able to sleep in the Tower of the Hand without masturbating, and asks if that is why they call it the Tower of the Hand. She drags him to bed, and they make fierce love. Afterwards, Tyrion calls himself a fool. Shay is a whore, and only after a when Shay asks what Tyrion will do at the end of the king, he tells them, something Cersei will never do. I'll do justice.
Okay, I want to bring something up right now because it goes with that. He calls himself a fool, and this relates to Tara, okay? So with the Tara, the full meaning, it can be innocence, a new beginning, right?
Yeah, if you're talking about tarot, everybody should talk about tarot cards. Yes, the fool can represent. It's not when you get the fool in a reading. It's not necessarily a bad thing.
Right, because it's a new beginning, right? But if it's reversed, it can also mean that you're being taken advantage of or recklessness. Now, and then he says that he's going to he's going to bring Cersei justice, right? What was the line again?
Hold on just a second.
The last line about
justice.
I'll do something she won't expect. I'll bring justice.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, and justice. Yeah, I was trying to remember. I was like, was it justice or judgment? Okay.
Yeah, there's another parallel
And,
between him and Sansa. Out of all the people we hear talking internally to themselves about how they would like to rule if they were
well,
able to, both him and Sansa want to be fair and just.
well, hang on. With justice, the whole part of that, with it being upright, he wants to bring justice to Cersei, you know? That'd be like the truth and clarity of it all. But that could also mean exposing her, right?
Right,
But
it would mean it.
at the same time, if that's flipped on him, then it's also unfairness and dishonest and, you know, injustice. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what happens to Tyrion. So in a way, it's kind of like he's predicting his own future. Like he's starting off going
Okay, I see what
blind
you're
at
saying.
the
You may be
pool at the
right.
new beginning in King's Landing.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of
He doesn't
foreshadowing.
realize what's happening to him on the reverse side of it. And at the end of it, the justice that he thinks he's going for, you know, the whole
He ends up being the
like
receiver of it.
the balance, you know, cause and effect of justice. You got to right the wrongs and stuff, you know, what he's trying to fix, everything he's out to do. But in the end, they end up ungrateful, you know.
And he gets bitter. He becomes bitter about it in the after, you know, once he leaves King's Landing.
Well, they
I wanted to go to the chat for a real quick minute.
about
Amanda living on a prayer says,
but
I
all the
just
trial,
remove
they're all
myself
ungrateful.
to another person, to the other person as winning if you react. Like if somebody upsets you and you lose. I agree 100%, but shit, I'm guilty of it.
Oh, we all are. Nobody can keep it cool all the time.
I mean,
Speak for yourself.
You can. You know, I guess if you're not ever I guess if you're always misrepresenting yourself, you can, because you know it's not real.
Oh yeah. And Shay was like that. Shay fucking was fake up till the end, you know.
Look, I mean, look, y'all. Who is with me? Here's the good question: who thought Shay for a long time, especially the way she was portrayed on the show? I thought Shay was down for Tyrion at one point.
I think on the show, I think she was. In the books, she's trying to get paid. But on the show, I think she actually like loves him. It's different on the show.
I always think of that song when I think of Shay.
Yeah, and in the books, honestly, too. Yeah, she's all about the money. She's just, that's all.
Yeah. I mean, come on, she's a hoe. Of course she's all about the money.
Yeah, but I mean,
wait, who's a hoe? Who's a hoe?
Shay.
She's trying to broaden her horizon.
Is she?
Oh, Amanda D.
Yeah,
Or is she a lady who does well?
Paris, are y'all both little birds?
She's a trifling hoe.
Well, or is she a secret spy, man? I don't know that she's
Well,
do you call double agents
in the Ninth Ward in New Orleans who had hearts of gold, like you know the hoe and Gone with the Wind.
Oh well.
Pretty women, pretty woman, right?
Pretty woman, yeah.
Oh, the hooker with the heart of gold. I'm talking about that. I'm talking about. They
happened to be hoes. They weren't bad people. They was.
Yeah, no. I think
I'm not talking about a hooker with a heart of gold. I'm talking about what if she's a double agent?
That's possible. Like she is actually, and that's still about her being about her money.
Let's go there, Liz.
Moni.
Moni.
Yeah, baby.
It's very suspect. The way it goes from obscurity.
Well, that goes with the double agent part, you know, that makes me wonder too if she could be a spicer, because we know that she gets mad at one point and kind of offended because she acts like she is of noble birth, you know?
Yeah, no, like this is like, or even maybe she's like one of those priestesses, you know, from the
for the Red Temple. I don't think she was them because she would still kind of act different.
Maybe,
But-
or maybe like she got
But
sick of the life
with the
and decided
Spicers,
to.
think about it. Tywin placed
Yeah, sure.
the one with Rob, so why wouldn't he set one up with Tyrion to spy on him? He knows his son likes horse.
Spy.
Yeah, he knows his son likes horse, and he
And
Thing about
specifically
Tyrion,
told
what
him
is-
not to take
he
her.
knows his son.
what's
And
Bronn
he knew
all
if he
about?
told him not to take her, that he would take her. So
And what's
yeah,
Bronn all about? We don't know Bronn's entire story either.
No, we don't know too much about him, truthfully.
So like, let's say that he got shaved from Tywin's tent.
right?
Right.
Yeah,
And
no,
I
I thought the same thing.
I've heard a thing about Bronn. There's a theory about Bronn being actually a Castamere or a not what's the other
yeah.
family?
Tarback, yeah.
A
And he's
Tarback, yes, a
secretly
Tarback.
trying to- No, I just, that's a great theory. Like, as far as I think it would really add to the story, but he has saved Tyrion and Jaime so many times. I don't see
That he would be getting revenge on them, but who says that he wouldn't be hired by Tywin?
I think he's hired by the Dorne. Honestly, I think he's
Maybe
another.
he's playing the long game like Dorne and his he's
Well, and he's I mean, I think he's out for himself, no doubt.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But
But like
what is his backstory? How did he get there? Isn't it convenient that he was where he was at the time, and then he just went along with Catelyn?
Okay, this chat is on fire,
I
and
agree.
I'm loving it.
I know it's why? Because I'm asking about who's getting slapped around.
You guys,
Very
living on a prayer wants to. I have to weigh in on this point. There are some women who are whores. There are some women who are hoes for a time. There is a big difference.
There's some
Oh,
women
yeah.
who aren't whores at all, but love kinky boots.
Yeah, and
right. Yeah.
so many times as women,
No,
you
there's a big
get
difference.
labeled just
Go
because
get yours, girl. But yeah, no, I'm
you
talking
are a
about whore.
I mean, you wouldn't call a guy who had slept with X amount of people a hoe, but a girl maybe you would. You know what I mean? There's certainly
Do a whore.
double standard on that,
No, absolutely. Well, that's
and
just
always
like
has been.
bisexuals. They just love sex. What?
Amanda Duncan
Or
says, "God
trisexual.
is lying."
Thing.
Peter Griffin says, sometimes I think he's a wildling.
What?
Yeah, I've wondered if
Because
he's
he's
actually.
like
I'm
one.
sorry.
You know, that actually kind of makes sense too, though. That
No, I
Ron
thought you meant
is somebody
Tyrion.
who came over the wall and started living, didn't want to be a wildling. Wanted to stay more.
I've wondered if he was from Dorne and got sent to the wall because he's been to both and then escaped.
Moni, what were you saying, babe?
You don't escape from the wall.
Some people he might have. Some people do. I'm sure they have.
Nah,
Like the Shadow Tower or something.
And
Have
even
you
if he
seen
was
the
from
size of
Dorne
ice?
to begin with, people don't know people from Dorne, just like, because they never go to the main area. You know what I mean?
Right. And then
whereas
you got Stony
Brandon Moore is
and
the Lord of
Dornishman too. So yeah.
he could have been a lord in Dorne, and Mandon Moore wouldn't have ever had an occasion to know him.
Wouldn't it
You
be
know
great if he was like an Ironwood or some shit like
Right.
that?
You wouldn't know. They wouldn't be well known in the mainland, is what I'm saying.
I just think it's funny that Shay, right away, she's been hooking with him for I don't know, a month maybe, and already he's her mighty lion of Lannister. What?
Well,
what?
When he first hooked up with her, he's like, "This is what I want of you," and she's like, "Okay," and she started playing the part right off the bat.
Yeah. But
all
still,
just
about his
playing a
family, he
part.
wasn't talking about his family.
Can I redirect this somewhere else?
Yes.
Yeah.
After you tell me about slapping around.
I know you're too quiet.
While Moni was talking about, you're my line of Lannister, that gave me the idea just to lead it somewhere else. Ree, can you?
That was pretty good. I'm
Ree,
sorry.
can you explain to everyone why you think that Jaime and Cersei are Targaryens?
Well, first of all, I think Tywin is probably sterile. Okay. It's known that that him and Aerys were best friends, and that Aerys had a thing for Joanna, and he took liberties with her on their wedding night, on Joanna and Tywin's wedding night.
I thought that was just a rumor.
It's written that they said yeah.
But that could have just been a kiss.
Yeah, I doubt it. Now here's an idea that I got though. Because what if, all right, now first of all, he's a king. Now think about this. You got Tywin Lannister, who's like the Lord of Casterly Rock, the richest bachelor in the kingdom, who's best friends with the friggin' king, young, running around. They can have any women they want. And then
like Rock Gods and Eddie Murphy's Raw.
Right.
Like, dropped a pussy there. Whoops.
Right. And then Joanna is Tywin's cousin. He is in love with her. I don't think she was ever in love with him. I think she was in love with Aerys. Aerys had to marry his sister. And I think it was just that Joanna had to marry Tywin. She was Rhaella's handmaiden, and she was there the whole time at the Red Keep. And then after they got married, and Aerys supposedly took his liberties, he sent her back to Casterly Rock to get her away from Aerys, and that's when him and Aerys started to have beef. And then that's when the twins came along. Then, like 6 years later, he summoned Joanna and the twins to court because he wanted to see them. And it pissed Tywin off, but he had to do it because he was, you're summoned by the king, you come. And then a year later came
I think it's hard too. I think it too.
I think every single one of them are Targaryens, and shooting blank.
But I don't.
One of the reasons I think Jaime Lannister is Azor Ahai, and I think that Azor Ahai is a person. I don't think it's a state of consciousness.
I'm going to suggest a video to go check out, and it's one that Bridge4 did, Kev, today, where he's talking about Jaime being Aerys' son, Jaime and Cersei, and about Jaime's dream where he's talking to his mother, and about
with
and about how
goes out, and and she basically tells him that's not your father,
right? Because Tywin always wanted to have a queen for a daughter and a Kingsguard or a knight for a son, and that's when she had a teardrop.
The race.
But Rhaegar was gonna, when he says to Jaime, look, I know shit real fucked up. Let me go handle this. When I get back, me and you gonna talk. I think he was gonna come clean with him and be like, look,
I agree. I think he was gonna tell him.
My brother, Kingsguard, like.
I think that's why he brought him to the Kingsguard too. Is I think he wanted to keep him close because
I think it was totally domestic.
I think he was
talking about Tywin.
What's that? Brand,
wait, time out.
Where you going with that? Because Brandon asked me for a reason. So what did you want
to bring it back to the chapter and everything? The reason I asked you to explain why she thought Jaime and Cersei were most likely Targaryen is because in our last chapter, Sansa asked Aerys Oakheart what he thought that the comment meant, and he said that it was the Joffrey and that he's the dragon's heir. And in this chapter, Tyrion talks about how clones do clear things with their heads beneath them. And Varys says the comment is the red messenger, and it comes to herald before a king to warn of the fire and blood to follow. And we're introduced to wildfire in this chapter, and all this fire and blood stuff, if they're Targaryens,
And that's what it's all about too. It's all about Jaime, Cersei, and Tyrion in this chapter.
Right on. But I still think,
Targaryen
but like
hardly left the throne, really.
I still think that they're going to end up with Rhaegal, the green dragon too. That's going to be the Lannister dragon. That some Lannister will end up with it in the book. At least I don't think so. I think it should be on the.
Tyrion.
That'd be cool.
It's
I don't know
gotta
if
be
that's going to
Tyrion.
happen, but
I don't think it'll be Tyrion. I think it'll probably be Jaime more like. I think it'd be cool. I think
on the Amy J. He's
I
only
want
got one
Jamie's
hand.
like the dragon slayer, though. I don't know.
Yeah.
no, he's
He's only got one hand, and everybody. It is known
I also
that you must
think
have
he's
two
a
hands to ride a
Targaryen.
dragon.
I gave my two main reasons. What else was it, Brand, that you said? Did Ree finish her entire point about that?
Yeah, she did.
Also,
but he had
Amanda,
more on it.
Living on a Prayer in the chat said, wait, hold the phone. Brand had something to say. I just want everybody to know 6 is the maximum amount that you can pull unless you double up. And we always take a big risk doing this, but we've gotten so comfortable with each other. We actually do a pretty good job. You'll notice a lot of other people won't stream over 3, really. Because it's hard to talk on each other and step on each other. But we do the best we can. But if you ever see that somebody's trying to get something out and they just can't, put it in the chat like that, and I'll make sure to call on them. But with that,
you always you can say, I want to hear from Moni anytime.
You look sexy as hell tonight, Moni.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I work till 8 o'clock at night. Although I had my
I tried to call you around 6.
Speaking of prayers, Moni needs them too.
Yeah,
Moni.
everything is so far so good. First day in the new room, and I like my new teacher, so keep knocking on wood. Thank you for all your prayers. So thank you, everybody. And anyways, and don't anybody think that we've gotten away from my kinky question. I still want to know about all the smacking around, and in lovely good ways, like not in evil mean ways. Like,
can I address something in the chat?
Okay, wait. First, I want to say something about the Tyrion or the Tywin shooting blanks. 1, I don't think he knows he's shooting blanks. Okay. 2, I don't think that he's truly aware. I think he's totally no, I think they're totally sneaking around. 3, I don't think that he could truly be in love with somebody, and the only person in his whole life that made him laugh and smile is his babe. And if she really didn't care for him, I don't think that would be possible. I don't think that he's
that's the only reason that he. See, I even wonder if maybe.
I think that she just has to hook up with him because he is king. Because what are you gonna do? You have. It's good to be king.
Well, even so, she might have had to marry Tywin just because she had to. They didn't have a choice necessarily.
Mandy said, poor Bramwick is the only cock in the house.
Okay, but to address the thing, living on a prayer, one of our Amandas said, did Jaime kill his father if he is a Targaryen? Yeah, and that's I think that's what's messed up about it is because
take away
he stood there and to be a Kingsguard, and then Tywin ordered him to do it, and that would be the most messed up part about it, is because
think about that though. There's some poetry to that. The fact that he killed him because he wouldn't go kill who he thought was his father, and he ended up killing his real father. Those are just the kind of little bits of, poetic justice that.
Well, some people should die. Some people should die. That's just unconscious knowledge. To quote. So, anyways, I don't think that they had that big of a love affair. I think that Mad King Aerys was a raper.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think he was too, maybe. And that, I mean, I still think that he could be the father of Jaime and Cersei, possibly more likely than like Tyrion. Tyrion, I feel like is Tywin's kid. Like, it has to be. Plus,
okay, here's the
Tywin is bastard.
I
think
totally,
that they all could be. Really.
yeah, and I totally do not. No. Here's the thing: Tyrion has Targaryen features already. He has dragon dreams. He even functions and acts and reacts in ways of other Targaryens from past situations. Like
right. I mean, there's such evidence for it to go either way.
it is so backed up in the books. It is like so backed up.
So why doesn't he want to hump his sister? Oh.
Actually, he does. He talks about it. He talks about banging her.
Well, he wants to rape her, which is.
Yeah, it's like in a mean, fucked up way, like in a
like in a direct way.
Too. Like he mentions to her, he says, like kind of joking, but many a true word spoken in jest. He says, like, "Oh, you fucking me, but not me." He's kind of
but it's just like, why does only one brother get the privilege? But I think it's more like, ew, you know what I mean? Like I think it's just a quadruple slam dunk dig.
True.
Like, oh yeah, you just I know you've been screwing our brother because she's all like, oh, grabbing her pearls. What? You think I've been screwing my brother? And he's like, yeah, I'm not stupid like Dad. And how come I didn't get any privileges? But I think if it came down to it, I don't think that he would hump her even if she tried.
But then later, like, well, once he hates her, he just talks about raping her.
Dude, she tried to pinch his penis off when he was just a baby.
Well, she's got some problems too.
I know that, but I mean, there's some inner shit going on between those two. And I get it. I get that, Tywin didn't nurture him right. Like, for all she knew, that baby killed her mama.
Okay, Amanda Duncan said, I think that Tywin does have bastards. The tunnel was built for him, and Dancy at Shataya's is Tywin's. And the one night's watch brother, Eris, just may have raped Joanna at the right time frame. Mandy says, Cersei's dreams of riding the dragon, but with the prince. So in some context, she does too. Just from a young female's perception. She doesn't think she has any power yet. Cersei has turned to her own.
Wait, who doesn't think she has power? Sansa?
No, Mandy in the chat. Mandy Hilton. Mandolin 523.
Wait, you don't think you have power?
Go further into that for us, girl. Okay. Okay, Mandy says maybe that's why he has a big penis. Talking about Tyrion.
Well, he says he does. The only one that we know for sure that does is
Rod. So in the show, he said you'd be surprised when Theon asked, you'd be surprised.
Yeah, I know, but horse say anything.
And his fingers, his tongue too, and his fingers.
Yes. And his coin is very gold. So yes, he has the most humongous penis.
All right, Nancy
because
T
he has the shiniest.
You all, great discussion, super fun. Gotta go. Good night. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Same to you too, Nancy T. Thank you, baby.
Okay, yeah.
So you are so loved here at Book Club.
Good night,
Mandy says she's talking about Cersei in her younger years.
Yeah. And
hey, can y'all hear me? Am I muted?
I hear you now.
Okay.
She always had the power of the penis. I mean, the power of the penis.
What do you think? What do you think?
I think she always knew she had the power.
You hadn't talked in a long time.
Okay, what do I think about what? Wow.
What do you think about
Tyrion's dick?
About what?
On the show, they say it's all right size.
But I want to know
about Tyrion's dick. Is that what you said?
Yes.
I think it's all an excuse. I think they hate him because he's a dwarf. Period.
But also, do you think that? See, I think Cersei learned from a young age the power of the pussy. I don't think that she ever had any doubt.
Yeah, she learned that. I don't know.
But when Cersei is young, she dreams of riding the dragon, all the same, but not with herself, with her husband. When she becomes the queen, now she has her own power. All right, I see what you're saying. Living on a Prayer, Amanda from Australia says, we're getting off top. I mean, off topic. Little people who have large equipment, laughing my ass off. Do not ask how I know. Oh, shit. No, that was my next question. No, absolutely. Like, anybody can have, you know what I mean? Like, never judge a book by its cover. You know?
Right, but that was my initial question about the smacking around, and it was after she smacked him 3 times. Wait, bam, bam. He's got red cheeks, and then he's like, "Hey, how come you're always screwing my other brother? You know, where's my like?"
Moni,
did Tyrion get a little turned on by that?
Yeah, that's what I thought. He kind of got a little turned on by him slapping her like that. In a way, kind of like, I don't know.
Well, definitely in a way, like, again, you know, just like a defiant way, like, haha, you can't like break me, so I'm gonna smile at you, and then I'm gonna make some sexual innuendos about you, and I'm gonna put you in your place, woman.
Yep, to what she said. She learned that with her and Jamie going at it. What she was saying about she learned the power of the pee at a young age. She did. She controlled Jamie for more than half his life. Okay.
Yeah, so Jamie used to dress up like girls. Don't ever forget that, people. Everybody always
what?
Oh, yeah, let's talk about that a little.
Let's talk about that.
I have one thing to say about the chapter, too, after we talk about that. One last thing.
This is my tinfoil tiara because I don't have an actual... I don't have one. But, yes, because you know what? Nobody ever thinks about this, and I always pointed out, they always talk about, Cersei dresses up like a boy because they looked exactly the same. This must have been before she had boobies, and then she would go and play the boy games. So, I wonder what her brother did. Cersei couldn't just be missing, so he was wearing his sister's clothes and going and doing needlepoint with the ladies. Nobody ever talks about that.
Yeah, what was his point of doing that?
Well, I just think it gives him a good perspective, but it's just also something to think about. You think about Jamie being the man and this and that. But I like a guy in a dress.
He does have a thing for Brienne, and Brienne is very masculine. Like, she's very masculine, and he I don't know, he's got a thing for Brienne, definitely.
And he definitely had a thing when his sister put pants on.
He just likes, manly women.
It's like that chick in Police Academy who says, I like to wear boys' cop pants, which are not attractive, not on boy cops or girl cops. Ugh.
No, I agree.
But if that's what floats your boat, more power to you.
I really appreciate it.
Can I talk about one thing that I want to talk about? And
yes, and don't forget, Liz, at the very beginning of the discussion, there was something that you had wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
And you were like, is that this topic?
Yes, let's get into it. And
does it have anything to do with sex?
Well,
that was a good thing.
Violence.
Okay, wait, it doesn't matter. I'll turn it into sex, so go ahead.
Okay, that's fine. So when Shay calls him my sweet lord, my giant of Lannister, there's a couple times where he's referred to as a giant or a man with a very large shadow. And I firmly believe that he is the giant that Sansa will slay in the prophecy that's given later on, the High Heart one. Everyone thinks it's Littlefinger. I think Littlefinger is a red preparing, and I actually forgot about this quote. So when I saw this, I was like, oh my God, another place where he's called a giant. And he's always referred to, like, not always, but several times as a giant. And then the fact that earlier in the chapter right before this, we have Sansa thinking, yeah, Tyrion's different, but I'm never going to trust a Lannister. I'm never going to make that mistake again. And I think Tyrion's going to do something, and yeah, he might be nice to her, he might be a little different, but at the end of the day, he's still a Lannister, and he's still going to do some dirt. And I think
Or
kill him.
So, without jumping too far, in the last chapter, just what Liz was saying, she was like, no, he's still a Lannister, he's still a Lannister.
Yep.
In the book after this, there's this whole prophecy of the same maiden slaying the giant in the snow castle. What if the giant's Tyrion? I mean, I haven't read that far,
I think the giant is Tyrion. The giant that is slayed in the Castle of Snow. Is that what? Yeah, I think.
You know what?
I think it's Tyrion.
I can totally dig that, Liz. All right,
it's not. Everyone thinks it's Littlefinger. Like, I've been told online by other people that no, it's Littlefinger. You're crazy. Blah blah blah. So I'm willing, but I will ride this.
Littlefinger.
I mean, it makes sense.
There's nothing giant about Littlefinger. Okay, let's keep that
exactly. And he's never like.
Well,
yes,
other than it's because his house is originally from, like, his grandfather came from Bravos and the giant Bravos.
Right, and they all have little dicks. Come on.
Yeah, he's got a little man complex, maybe, I guess. So yeah, I could see that. Maybe.
It's the Titan of Bravos, and Littlefinger's never, like, aside from the one comment that Tyrion said, Varys says a small man can cast a large
But I thought of something that you said in regards to that theory, Liz. I'm totally digging it. And I could see, because Tyrion was always kind to her, and this, he's actually a very good husband. Like, even though she's like,
I don't sort of.
When it comes down to it, he didn't rape her.
Well, but that's what, that's basic. That's basic.
Well, no, not in those days. No, that is like, sorry, women are property, sister. Like, no, that is their God-given right. That's what they get to do.
But how he was in general.
But that has nothing to do with my point. My point is, because of his nobility, and in that scenario, I can see him sacrificing himself, be it for his Khaleesi or whatever, and then in telling Sansa, just kill, you know what I mean? So like that I don't know. I could see it like as a self-sacrificing and begging her to do it, like imploring her to, because I don't think she has a deep hatred towards him just because he's a Lannister.
No, I don't think so. Not yet. I think he's gonna do something. I don't think.
What could he possibly do? What? Make her?
Check out Khaleesi Clues. She's got some good videos about Sansa in the chat.
Khaleesi Clues. She does. And she's somebody I hadn't seen, and she came out of nowhere for me.
Raylene, she's awesome, man. I
had never seen her. And when I started seeing her, just the way she breaks everything down and everything, I really like the way she takes it as my English teacher, where you could be somebody who didn't finish elementary school or who has a PhD and understand the way she breaks something down.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah. So, anyways, that's my crazy theory. Who knows if it'll really? But yeah, I think he slays Tyrion somehow for some reason. I don't,
Well, I think if that ever came to fruition, which I get that, like in the prophecies and stuff like that, but I think it would be out of a noble gesture.
It could be. I don't know. I think it'll be. I think he does some dirt, but that's just my opinion. It could be something having to do with Daenerys too. Like, I'm not set on exactly what'll cause it, but I mean, I have some thoughts, but they're based on like possible leaks from season 8. So.
Well, I mean, I don't consider it a spoiler.
And it may be different in the books if it happens more self-sacrificing kind of thing.
Which would make him what? Who's the one who sacrifices themselves, and then the other one is the other thing. Aha.
Nisa.
Yeah.
Is Nisa and Sansa's Azor Ahai?
Yeah, so Tyrion is
I don't
Nisa.
Wait. Let's do this. I've never heard this one. You know, hey, it could be anything.
I just totally went crazy hype, Jen. Give me some props, man.
Okay, I have some exciting news that just happened.
What? More exciting than me saying that Tyrion is Nisa and Sansa is Azor Ahai?
I mean, that's pretty exciting, and I've actually
I know.
But yeah.
You heard it here first.
So next week is Brand. It's going to be Brand 1, Chapter 4. And then the week after that, Brand, isn't it Arya 1, Chapter 5?
Arya 2, Chapter 5.
That's right. Y'all, how dumb.
You're not done.
Arya 2, Chapter 5. Guess who? We have a guest. Guess who's our guest?
Who's our guest?
And he's been gracious enough. He's going to do an overview. And you, Pat Mule.
Oh, awesome. Woo.
On which
Rock on, Shaka Khan.
Right.
Oh,
He's
my.
awesome.
Oh, hey, Baratheon girl.
Everyone loves AU. I was just telling him, I'm so sorry I can't post his link. My screen is buffering, y'all. I can't post any more links. So I'll just say, everyone sub
You
to
guys
AU.
just don't know. I probably wouldn't stream if it wasn't for him. And I was in like 2 years. Yeah.
Has anybody heard anything so entirely crazy as that tinfoil theory I just
really appreciate that. Hey, girl. You up last?
All right, so tell me about the smacking stories right now.
I know, right? AU. I tell people all the time, I'm like, I wonder if sometimes you regret like showing me.
Hey, you make a much better guess than I have.
So Cammy, go ahead, guests first. So tell me about your slapping.
And Moni, he thinks the theory is pretty incredible.
I know, right? And that thank you to Liz, because that would have never occurred to me. But
I mean, actually,
I just think she slays him. But you went, yeah, you got the Nisa.
You know what? I have a giant imagination. I have the imagination of giants.
So does Tyrion. You guys have something in common.
Yeah.
So
do all the ladies who tell him so.
Maybe he likes.
All I can say from this chapter, it's got my favorite quote. So I'm having to rewind here. But when he says,
tell us.
He says, well, at least we have 2 Starks. And she says, no, one has disappeared. Arya's disappeared. And he says, disappeared? In what? A puff of smoke? I just love that.
Yeah. Oh, no, but you're right. And even in the TV show, you know, the way he delivers that line, beautifully
A
done.
puff of smoke, and then on the back of the T-shirt. Okay, so that's your T-shirt.
It made me think of silent.
She disappeared in a puff of smoke, and on the back it should say "puff puff pass."
I'm living on a prayer says AU.
Brian, I said yeah if you didn't get that.
You try to make
living on a prayer says AU.
I can't hear you.
And the White Walker idea. I was thinking the White Walkers were around then. The children created the Night Kings to control the White Walkers. And then
that is a crazy thought, isn't it?
This is to you, Moni.
Say that again.
I'm thinking of Hodor when Moni says that.
Yeah, I kind of thought that too.
Because you want to meet Hodor. Wait, what? But that's the sacrifice? Hodor.
Billquist style. Billquist style. My goodness.
I would have never ever thought of that, except for Liz mentioned about like because he's a giant and he could be the giant that she slays at Winterfell. But
oh my goodness, Peter Griffin. That's crazy.
Well, I could
gonna do
the hound.
No.
Maybe
I just don't think that like she's capable. I think it'll be a sacrifice thing. Therefore, our favorite giant is Nisa, a giant of the story.
Possible.
And our hero is the damsel with the red hair. Ta-da!
Right.
I guess I can pretty much say this, just like I guess everybody on the panel can say it. The giant reference is either Littlefinger or Tyrion, but it's almost too blatant, in my opinion, for the Littlefinger.
We get it at the very beginning of the book when John says, he's casting that
Tyrion casts a large shadow.
Yeah, there's a couple, and Meister Aemon at the wall says Tyrion is like a giant of men, and then Shay says it now. So
Well, here's the thing: they refer to the giants and the shadows like that, and the tall shadows, a lot, referring to kings. So that's kind of here with the tall shadows and all.
Yep, that's true.
Also a reference to fire too, because shadows are basically, you can't have shadows without fire. They're like minions, I guess.
We can't have darkness without light. Isn't that Melisandre says some shit like that?
Some shit like that, yeah.
Wait, time out.
Relatively speaking, you not think Tyrion was kind to Sansa?
Yes. No, yes. That's why I think it'll be a
I don't think he was. I have
with that question. I think that he was, relatively speaking.
I don't think he was. I think he's overrated. I think in the books or in the show, he's kind of whitewashed. He's a lot softer than he is in the book.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
And I think my thing with him is that I feel that, yeah, he was decent enough to her, but deep down inside, he was resentful that she didn't want to sleep with him. And his whole not sleeping with her was because he wants someone who at least is pretending to want to sleep with him. And he thought that she would come around, and that made him resentful. He was fluctuating. And I felt like he did really nothing to help her situation. Like, if he wanted to be he wanted to be Lord of Winterfell. So he had his own motivations for staying in that marriage. Yeah, he kind of played it like he didn't want it, but it was to his benefit. So,
okay.
I'm not
saying
at all.
Yeah, let me say something here.
All right,
let me say something here. Let me say something here.
Too much. Bree, you go ahead.
Okay. Sansa's had all these illusions of and heard all these fairy tales about these handsome knights and princes, and she's learned all too well, and she is still learning, in all her little trials and tribulations, whether on show or in books, of what bullshit it is. And that's why we see her leaning more towards like Sandor, or we can see her actually going more this route. I mean, I actually do see her ending up with Tyrion, because I can see her, the looks not matter to her anymore. She sees Tyrion for what he is. Why would she care about what's on the outside? She doesn't. She fell for that before and fell for the monster. She didn't see the monster within.
It's nothing about his outside. It's about his
Stop. Joffrey, prime example. She started right there. It's going to come all back to that. Joffrey was the little pretty one that she was all in love with his look, and he was
Loras. Then Loras.
Perfect package, right? Then Loras, you're exactly right, and he was just not into her at all. So,
but he did. But he acted like he was for briefly. He did. Given her
he did, but it was just.
He was still extremely nice.
It was a mummer's game. It was a mummer's game. But and here's the thing. So all these tricks and games that have been played with her, the only person that has ever been sincere with her has been the one that they've called a monster.
Period.
And the Hound, though, and he was
right,
a monster.
Right.
And
I agree with that too. But, and he tried to take her with her and save her too. I do agree with that. So I just think that it's going to come back though to, and I think it could go back to Sandor too, because he was the first one to cloak her. He put his cloak on her. Tyrion never did. So it could come back either
only because his dickhead nephew kicked away the stool. What an asshole!
Right? And but
see, and that's where I definitely reminded me of that slap.
And I want to just go back real quick.
Back to Sansa and Tyrion, if for no other reason, I think that they could put an heir on the throne legitimately.
Oh, and let's just go back real quick here. Last paragraph, Sansa chapter last week. He is still a Lannister, her brother, and Joff's uncle, and no friend. Once she had loved Prince Joffrey with all her heart and admired and trusted her mother, the queen. They had repaid that love and trust with her father's head. Sansa would never make that mistake again.
Yep, she's not going to make it again. I mean, that's just, I think she's learned her lesson. And And Tyrion, as we go on, he gets more bitter. Like here, he's not too bad, right? Like he's pretty positive. He's hopeful. He's trying to do things.
Yeah, he's different in the books. I know he's a little more sinister and all. I know.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's easy to understand.
And shit happens to him. He has reason to be bitter. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, he has reason to be very, very bitter.
Oh, extremely, especially after the battle with Blackwater.
He's not with her. He's not with her, though.
I mean,
I think he's kind to her.
Tyrion would have went in the red jeep and probably bike chained the doors and shot everybody.
Yeah, I mean, seriously.
After that way, battle with Blackwater, as you keep on stepping on people, you keep on stepping on people, you keep on stepping on people. That's when they go crazy or lose their shit.
Right.
But he didn't, because he even knew about the wildfire. It's Cersei, the one who was denied. She's our ticking time bomb. Tick, 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 tick.
Right.
She doesn't have a cock and ball.
In the last, there's people.
Hey, I want to, Moni, on World of Warcraft, I have a guild. It's a guild that me and my husband do together. Like we created our own, so we had our own bank. And I named it Captain Cock and Balls.
I got to invest in that.
Right? I'll play Warcraft. I'll play Warcraft with this, and you can be in my guild.
You know what? Did you see that show, Guild, on with
the show?
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah.
And I'm not a gamer, so Sharkbait had to explain it to me. That's based on World of Warcraft. But seriously, guys, how many of you, okay, I'll tell you my slap story, seeing as how nobody's volunteering their slap story, and this is a legitimate thing about this chapter.
I told mine. Oh, didn't I?
Wait,
I told one.
Okay, one time, all right, 2 times I've been slapped, and nothing has been like any, kinky boots, turn me on slaps. No. One was, it was in high school, and there was this girl. We drank a few pops that evening, and we lost our car in the parking lot. Well, my best friend, it was her car, so we're freaking out. I'm freaking out because my mom's pretty strict, right? So then my best friend's boyfriend's ex-girlfriend smacked me across the face in the parking lot, like how you do, to hysterical people in the movies. And it was like, what? I couldn't believe it. And then, so that was one time. And then another time, somebody some dude, random dude in a bar slapped me across the face. No reason, no provocation, no nothing. So I'm like the deer in head.
What the hell?
I would Snoopy if I had long dog ears. That's what I would do. So yeah, it was the strangest thing. So no, and I've never had enough guts to smack anybody. No, and nobody stuck up for me. None of my friends, nothing. It was just wait, did he just Well, that's what I did when she smacked me. Then all my friends grabbed me and pulled me back. But in the bar, it was just nothing. Not even his friends freaked out. It was just he just thought that he wanted to slap me. I didn't know even who the fuck he was. That's that's something wrong with those East Siders. But yeah, so slapping across the face and making your face red, ouch. Like, that's some serious slapping. So I'm just curious. So what was your slap story? And did it lead to kinky sex?
I don't have anyone on, not my face getting slapped, just other parts.
Well, right, yeah. But
I mean, that's something else though.
Right, no, exactly. And that, like, yeah, across the face wouldn't like really well, I don't know, maybe it would. See, like, I don't know.
I see, across the face wouldn't do it for me. That's not gonna.
No,
that's like
that's
serious.
I agree, Amanda. For Tyrion, playing with Blackwood's got a clown and a snake.
but this part also, like, the first thing I thought of then was Tyrion smacking Joffrey after the whole Sansa abduction. He's going bam, bam, and like, to go say, like, give your respects to,
Winterfell, he smacked.
Yeah, and it was just like
the Lannisters like smacking people. Because then Robert Baratheon smacks, well, he's a Baratheon, but he smacks Cersei at one point. Well, I mean, he's very abusive, though. That's different.
Well, she kind of deserved it.
The Imagination Realm, Carlisa says,
nobody ever deserves it. I know, but this is fiction. I'm allowed to say this kind of shit. Hey,
Imagination Realm says, oh, shoot, I lost my place. I'm sorry, guys. Safe words are safe for a reason. Mandy, you on a roll tonight, girl. I love it. You can always be yourself here, girl.
That's always, that's what I always said about, like, talking on the phone. Look. When you don't have face-to-face friends, if you hang up on me on purpose, that's a smack in the face.
Okay, Mandy says, and then I'm going to share this story. I don't share too many of these stories, but she's being so upfront and honest with her. I'm going to be upfront and honest about this. Okay, so Mandolin 523, Mandy says, I think spitting on somebody is pretty low. I think so too.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about anywhere else.
Oh, no.
Louisiana, it's considered assault. Like if you walk by and spit on somebody.
Oh, it's nasty.
State as well. But let me tell this story. So not a lot of people know, but I think some people in the community know, and I make no secret about it, just like Mandy doesn't. From like 18 to 23, I was a stripper. Yes, as in I took off my clothes for a living on a stage dancing to music. And
could you make the tassels go different ways?
We had this guy that used to come in the club, and we called him Spit Man.
Ew.
That's what he liked. He would pay you to spit on him, and he didn't get dances or anything like that's when you give somebody a private dance or whatever. But he would tip you by how good the loogie was. I am not even kidding. And then finally, one time, a manager noticed, and he got banned for life. But we all thought it was hilarious. Don't touch me. But he would sit on a little chair, and we called him Spit Man. And that's what he liked. He liked for you to walk by and be like, you piece of shit, and spit on it. I'm not making that up. That's one of the more crazier situations I've run into. And this was not a seedy joint. This was if there is such a thing, this was a more
but different strokes for different folks, man. Who knows?
It's didn't I need it. So take off all your clothes.
Hell yeah. I was singing that earlier.
Do you know that in Breakfast at Tiffany's, one of my favorite, where they go into, she's like, I want to get drunk, very drunk indeed, after Doc Doc Golightly goes back, and they go to the place where it's boom, boom. She's like, do you think
I agree,
gets paid handsomely?
Correct, girl, thank you. It was just a job. And, a lot of strippers are hoes, and a lot of them are.
You know what?
It's a job.
They make a lot more money than I do, and I just get my ass kicked for nothing.
Hey, Al, you just had a crazy-ass conversation.
Well,
You came just in time, Al.
You know what?
Talking about
Al talks about squirrels and raccoons and stuff. So
I mean, I used to have a customer, and he was very wealthy. His parents owned. Y'all ever heard of Jitney Jungle? He was like a Jitney Jungle heir.
What?
Yeah.
Who's Jungle?
Party Holman. Like they own plants, and they parlayed that into the grocery store Jitney Jungle. But he used to come in. He liked for you to stomp on his dick with your heels and talk ugly to him and thump cigarette ashes in his mouth and blow smoke in his face. I can't make shit like this up.
Like I
You're
said,
making me think of Quagmire, dude. That's all I keep thinking about is Quagmire.
different strokes for different folks,
And he
man.
was gonna dance with you unless you had like the pretty women. I happen to have had a pair of them. I did. He said Covington. That was my
Yeah, man. People are crazy.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Okay. You know, that's something I did when I was much younger. I don't regret it. I probably would
Liz,
do
Cammy,
it
I wanna hear your
another
smack
time
around
around,
stories.
but you know, you live and you learn.
And-
You live and you learn.
And who else? Bran, Liz, Cammy, Bree.
What?
what about
I
Cammy?
want to hear your kinky boot story. Or
Hear me talk about what? The story or strippers? Fibbing?
no. I want to hear about
Why
you
you got a
smacking.
stripper story?
I want to hear about you smacking somebody around.
I told you about me slapping my cousin around.
Yeah. No. That doesn't.
Now, I'll tell you this. When a bitch slap me, I'll fucking whip their ass. I've had that happen.
I got one cousin.
I don't fight bitches. I fight like a man. I'll tell you that right now. If a bitch slap me or grab me by my hair, then
You
I
know
will
what?
front you
I
and
know.
your ass.
But see,
I hate
think
that
you know
hair
stuff.
pulling.
I don't. Like
I don't fight
I'm
like
a
a
non-reactor.
You know,
I don't do that nail shit and then
I
scratching.
know Carlisa, forgive her, you know, but hey, this
But
is
that's
real life. Stop
Great,
it.
I don't play. But now,
I'm a non-reactor.
slap
Right.
me, you better slap me on that. That's all I got to say.
On the job. And yeah, you know, when you're all making money, listening to music,
And I love you, Brandon. Hint, hint.
friends, sometimes it was a lot of fun. When somebody throws a quarter at you on stage, not that much fun. You know, but when somebody walks up and gives you $100 bill, your favorite song's playing, you're having drinks, a really good time, you know.
L wants to know what we're discussing.
Hey, so what book are we discussing? We were talking about Tyrion and Shay. That's all we got.
We got off on a sub topic of strippers because we were talking about it spitting on somebody an insult.
No. I wasn't talking about spitting. I was talking about smacking people around because Tyrion gets smacked by his sister 3 times.
Yeah, we were talking about slapping. We were sharing slapping stories.
Yeah, but I like when Tyrion slapped Joffrey.
Turned him on.
Tyrion slapped Joffrey and slapped him twice. I love that.
Yeah, no, me too.
Double slap.
And you know what? As horrible as it is, because like we're discussing each other's smack around stories, Al. So feel free to like. Put
Then we started talking about have you ever just got yourself slapped?
Isn't it satisfying seeing some son of a bitch get slapped in a movie or on TV?
It is.
Yeah.
Man, when I saw Joffrey get slapped by Tyrion, it was like
double slap. That was the best epic slap. 2 slaps. And I also liked when
he was like,
I also liked when
and he's like, whack.
I liked when Cersei slapped Joffrey.
Strippers will take your
Yeah, that's a good one.
sex in the champagne.
Yeah.
No,
Thank you,
there's
Liz.
not.
See, but you know what? I didn't like it when Cersei slapped Joffrey because then he got like all like scary, like I'll kill you.
Oh yeah, like you could get that's
no, but like that was freaky. That was super freaky.
It always is.
Like, whoa, that's your.
But I don't care. I still like it. I still like it.
But
I was like, it's a time for me to slap.
I had some stupid bitch trying to shoulder charge and uppercut me in a mosh pit. She took it too far because she didn't like me. I threw her to the floor and
in a mosh pit, man.
Fuck yeah.
And wearing new rocks.
Fuck yeah.
Right. Elbowing, but you won't throw. Yeah, that you get a lot of that nowadays.
Yeah, then you worry about catching charges afterwards.
Man, it was even worse getting turtled in the mosh pit, man, when they're working throwing people on top, mess up your neck.
I want to know where
in Miami there's a lot of I quit.
Because she said she got arrested for throwing a cap of water on somebody.
Work in Palm Beach. And yeah. The Palm Beach.
I was working in Louisiana at one of the really nice clubs.
She didn't have a lot of morals, but she was hot out.
They had an upstairs, and that was also where the girls' locker rooms were. And they went for a minute, they roped it off, and we couldn't even go upstairs to change and leave. And I know something shiesty was going on up there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, in some places, I guess there is, but I was never part of it. So.
Well, you guys, I'm about to have to get off.
All right. Yeah, we've got super way off topic.
I'm an hour.
Next week,
not play anymore, damn it.
Well, we don't have to. Everybody doesn't have to go.
You're about to get off, Fran?
You're going to do the overview next week, right?
All right, so you guys know we talked about everything, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think we covered it.
I talked about the two things I knew, yeah.
You were fine, Cammy.
Good.
Anything else you want to add?
Hi.
Come on, Cammy O. Tell us all your stories. Come on.
Well,
Bradley girl says, "Is everybody going? Boo."
No.
And
no.
Al saying bye to you, Moni. Are you going? Bran has to go. Does everybody have to go?
No, Bran, don't leave.
I do. I have to. It's I'm getting. I have like.
Well, let's say goodbye to
we know what you
and then we'll continue on a bit for the late nighters and the people who just came in. So, Bran, do you have any final thoughts? On the chapter.
That was not an answer.
Or anything you like.
Well, or you can, if you got something you got to think out loud, go ahead.
Did we talk about the riddle? That's basically it.
No. And we need to talk about the riddle. Because I think it's going to directly come back to whether or not Bronn is going to turn on the Lannisters or not.
Ooh, riddle me this.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Galo if you want to, honey.
Riddle.
Well, first of all, let's reread it.
Let me up.
Let this.
Okay, don't go to bed.
What is the riddle?
Yeah.
There was a riddle in the chapter.
Brand,
there was a riddle in the chapter.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what's the riddle?
All right, I'm going to go back over it for you guys. Just one sec, please.
Riddle me this.
The riddle posed to Tyrion.
How many times do you smack your bitch-faced sister before you get your way?
Well, that wasn't it, but here's the riddle. Here's the riddle, you guys. In a room, and this was posed by Varys to Tyrion before he left Shay and Tyrion at the brothel. In a room sit three great men, a king, a priest, and a rich man with his gold. Between them stands a sellsword, a little man of common birth and no great mind. Each of the great ones bids him slay the other two. Do it, says the king, for I am your lawful ruler. Do it, says the priest, for I command you in the names of the gods. Do it, says the rich man, and all this gold shall be yours. So tell me who lives and who dies. Once Varys is gone, Shay asks if it is the rich man who lives. Tyrion is not so sure, saying he depends on the sellsword. What do you guys think? Fran, you go first with your thoughts.
Yeah, since you brought it up,
I
Brandon.
think that most likely the rich man is going to live
Oh, that's the same thing.
Why is that?
because he's a sellsword.
Right.
Game of Thrones, and it's all about the rich. Well,
I mean, we're constantly reminded that a sellsword will turn on you, you know, in the middle of a battle
yeah,
for
that's
money
true.
or for like yeah. I mean,
Yeah, sell sword will sell you out in a heart.
That's
basically,
not
yeah.
bad, actually. I mean, we're reminded of that constantly. Yeah. I mean,
Oh, okay, question though. Are
I mean,
sellswords
Ron
really
said it
that rich?
No.
What?
Ron-
Okay, so what do they do? Piss their money away?
that's why they will, because they'll go to whoever pays the most money.
Right,
Yeah.
but then they
Right.
should be
Ron
rich
said
as
that
hell.
to
So why
Tyrion.
aren't
He
they
told
rich?
himself.
Well, like the
Harassing
gold company,
girls
the
says
leaders
cynically,
of the gold
I-
company are.
Wait, go ahead,
but
Liz.
not- I said like the leaders of the gold company are probably really rich, and like there's
Yeah, they are.
the like higher ups, the captains and stuff are rich, but it's just like any other company, right? Like
Right.
the manager, you know, the upper management and stuff is
Yeah.
money, and the worker bees
About that.
you know, so it's, and then you have these individual sellswords running around Westeros, and probably some of them have money, maybe some of them make come ups and start doing well, like they get a castle or a hold fast somewhere if they get lucky or they do something well, you know. But
They screw a fat sister and get the castle.
right,
Yeah.
exactly, like so
Or kill a mean sister.
yeah
for sure.
So, like, I think they can get rich, but a lot of them are just, you know, they're hustling like everybody else.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it just seems
They're
like,
happy,
okay,
yeah.
like, because we're always, you know what, it just like, you kind of think, oh, yeah, sellsword, they have the most money because they sell out for the most money, right? But when you think of a sellsword, you don't think of like,
Rich people.
you're
Right.
not thinking of like, you know, like, yeah, the guy on top, like,
Barely making it.
Because they
it
probably
seems
keep
like-
being sellswords because they probably squander what they make too, right?
Right,
Like
right.
they
So
You know what they say though, easy come, easy go. That's the kind of easy, you know, easy made money.
yeah.
Well,
live life, die hard. Live
well,
fast, die
Bron
hard.
switched pretty quick already too, because he does go from from Tyrion to he's bought by
Bron.
I wouldn't.
Bron told Tyrion himself, and he didn't go to visit Tyrion after he was all messed up.
When he first paid him, so yeah, he was paid off then. That's why, and he said, "You can't pay me more." And then he went and he was working with Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
Really, in the books, it was different. He actually married someone.
Yeah, it's a different. Yeah, it goes,
About the problems. Even though
Alex swooped in, and any of the people that he wanted to keep that had been retainers of Tyrion, he kind of made them more Lannister retainers. Like when he, you know, he sent the hill tribes home, he knighted Ron. You know what I mean? And that's how he handled that. But Baratheon Girl in the chat says, I'd say the rich man usually lives 9 times out of 10. What's key is that they don't always live.
well, and I think it's interesting. I actually think Tyrion's answer to it might be the right answer, where he's like, I'd ask who the sellsword was.
Right.
No.
Because
Is it
you don't see
Bronn?
it too often, but remember, there's that one house in the service of House Lannister that has escorted Jamie. This is way on up somewhere, and he is very religious.
Yeah. So if you got to
think of his name or whatever, but I'm talking about, this is getting way on down, y'all. And I know we go chapter to chapter, but you do run across a few people who are extremely religious. And in this case, I can see where that soldier, where he wouldn't have been as, you know, he wouldn't have been a sellsword, but he wouldn't have taken the money. I don't believe
he would. Yeah, he was a big. But it's getting late, y'all. I'm gonna have to.
Liz.
All right, Liz. Was there any last thoughts or anything that you had wanted to say about?
No.
I want to ask you one last question before you go.
Oh yeah.
How do you feel about the Beauty and the Beast metas?
What is it?
The Beauty and the Beast metas. The thing that Tyrion and Sansa are going to end up together because it's whole kind of like a a take on Beauty and the Beast?
I think they're all getting the wrong beast. I think
Okay.
Beauty and the Beast a lot. I think it comes up in her story. I think it comes up in a lot of stories. So if you did it, Jamie and Brienne are an inverse Beauty and the Beast. I think
Right. I get
Sansa
what
and
you're
the Hound
saying.
have some of it. Sansa and
So what
Tyrion
you're
have
saying
some
is
of
it would
it.
only work for you if Tyrion was super ugly to her,
No,
and nothing to do with his looks.
no.
No, I think he's a troll. He's like, and no beauty ever ends up with a troll.
Yeah, I don't think he's the beast in her. Like, so I think
Night
there's
Owl.
Beauty and the Beast thing going on, and maybe a little bit with her and him, but I don't think he's the real beast in her story. I think that's still.
Okay.
I got a whole. That's a whole
Who
nother.
do you think the beast in her story is?
I think John becomes the beast because John's gonna go into Ghost, right, when he gets killed.
I think
he's
it's
in
Sandor.
Ghost, and I think there's a lot of hints that John becomes more feral in the books than he is at all in the show, and so I think the beast in the story could be John, really. But that's like a way down the road.
Tell me what feral means
I
again,
see what
because
you
I love
mean.
words.
Okay,
Feral?
Moni, you're saying
Feral is like
you're
feral
thinking
cats.
it's Sandor.
Wild.
Moni,
Yeah, I
you're
think
saying you think if the story is going that way, you think the beast is representative of Sandor.
Yeah, for sure. And only because, like, yeah, if anything, and I don't know who his beauty is. I would the only beauty he's got really is Sansa, right? But as far as characters that totally transformed for me, I mean, I hate when he killed the butcher's boy. I hated him. I hated him. And then, so then he did look out for Sansa, but he also scared her. I hated him. And then, but when he tries to tell her, come on, let's go, then I personally think that Sansa, her night wolf was killed, but she's an emotional warg. So she can sense other people's emotions and inner thoughts, feelings.
I agree with that.
Yeah, she's an empath of sorts.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But I believe that's her warging ability because her wolf is gone. You know what I mean? Like that. That's how it just.
Fran, give us our opinion, and then I know you need to go, and you can outro yourself.
I'm listening.
If you think there's anything to the whole Sansa, Tyrion, Beauty and the Beast side.
Any Beauty and the Beast in the whole story. Really.
Yeah.
I think it's very, very possible because, I mean, they are married in the show and the book, and something's got to come out of it.
Yeah, she's going to kill him.
Okay.
I think it's
I know you need to go. So
he did the TV show.
Where to
George
find
Martin
that.
did the show. People forget
next
that.
week we are doing Brand 1, Chapter 4, and Brand is going to be doing the overview.
I'll see you next week. You can find me on Facebook or me know.
His Facebook link is in the description. It's a working link, y'all.
And everyone have a good night.
Good night, sweetie. Thank you. We love you.
Good night, Superman.
Good night.
And
Thank you.
All right, Liz, I know you needed to go as well. You want to give your outro?
Yeah.
And everybody, working link for Liz right there in the description.
Yep. Just check out all my links. They're there. I'll be posting a lot more as we get closer to the premiere. And it was fun tonight. Thank you for listening to my crazy theories. I'm sorry they're so crazy.
Love you, Liz. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Night,
Okay. Okay.
Have a great night,
Your turn. Your turn.
Thank
What
you.
do you think of all the theories of either San or either Tyrion and Sansa, and it being a side story of Beauty and the Beast?
Who, me?
Oh, Cammy.
Oh,
I'm gonna get to you though. I'm forming an opinion.
no, I'm already going. So go ahead. I just didn't know you were here.
Repeat.
Creepy. That's what you think of it?
No, I said repeat.
She didn't hear you.
Oh, okay. A lot of people think that Sansa and Tyrion are going to end up together and that it's representative of, I guess, her coming full circle, being able to look past someone's outer and look towards inner beauty, just like the story Beauty and the Beast.
You know what? I'm not looking past it. I think it's totally doable because political reasons, what have you. So maybe so.
I agree too. I think it all depends on who's left standing.
I'm on the fence about it. Let's just put it that way. I'm on the fence about it. But however, I do see them teaming up. Maybe they won't get married, but I do see them. Let me say, I do see them teaming up. To go against Cersei.
I agree 100% that those two are going to definitely be collaborators.
Yeah. Because they do have a general respect for each other.
They do. And he was relieved.
Probably more than anybody else in the book, really.
He was relieved to find out that Sansa was A, safe, and B, really didn't set him up and had no part in it. Because he really at first thought she betrayed him. And he was relieved to know that she didn't. And I think that's a big clue, too.
Right. And Tyrion has always had Sansa's back. And any woman has to respect a guy for not taking advantage of her when he could have. So I do think that general respect is there. Now, whether they get married or not, I'm on the fence about that. But I do see them collaborating. I really do.
I think under Westerosi law, you could kind of say that that they were never not married. That she was actually never married to Ramsay because they weren't divorced.
Thank God.
In the book, she isn't married to Ramsay at all.
She fed him to the hounds. Most favorite.
All it has to do is be.
You know what just popped in my head when you said she fed him to the hounds?
Oh no!
One of I guess the beasts in the story is the hound, and she fed Ramsay to the hounds.
There you go.
Think there's anything in that?
Tell a real life story. I just knew it. I knew we were going to hear another Jen story. I was like, oh no, do we want to hear it?
Nah, only one of those a night.
You notice I don't be telling personal stories. Y'all notice that? Yeah. You ain't gonna hear
it. Nope. If the mood strikes you,
not live.
If you can ask yourself to be yourself and share what you're comfortable with. Mandy in the chat says the princess loves Shrek and tells the over form. Trolls need love too. Who's the troll? Do we have a troll?
We have a troll.
I don't know. We don't
Somebody
really in here, really.
Bangers, and I've never heard of this person, and I know if I haven't, y'all haven't, and I'm wondering now that you bring up troll, I'm gonna have to check her out.
Okay, the Baratheon girl says, I think Sansa's thoughts much later after they have separated about Tyrion give away her final judgment of him. I agree. I mean, after everything she's been through and all the people that, especially in the show, all the people that her name has been affiliated with, when she looks back on all that, the person she thinks kindly of is Tyrion. Ree, what do you think about that?
About Tyrion and Sansa?
Yeah, about the whole.
Are we still on the Beauty and the Beast thing?
Possibility of Sandor or Tyrion or nobody.
I think, okay, this is what I think it's probably honestly going to be Tyrion. And I think it'd be sweet if it was Sandor, but I think he's going to be the one that I think she might have some kind of affair with him or something. But I think that's more like he's gonna die for her or something.
I
And,
almost see that where they have some kind of romantic thing.
yeah, I think they will.
And then she never does anything else. You know what I mean? And,
right. It's just like, and then like I could see him like dying for her or being her Queen's Guard or something like that. Because he always said he's not a knight, and she's like anti-knight. You know,
well,
now
no,
she.
I don't think she's so much anti-knight as she's like just because somebody has that title.
Right, but she looks at it differently. She looks at it differently, is what I'm saying.
Right,
like,
I want 100%.
Like in the North, they don't have
away.
The only ones that do is the Mandarin. That's something that the Seventh do. Its followers Seven have knights.
Like in Waymore Royce, she admits that she had a little crush on him. She couldn't have known him more than probably a couple days and probably a feast. You know what I mean? And
right.
But then we see in the prologue that he was an ass.
But
so I think she's learned to look past the fact that titles and attractiveness.
Oh yeah, definitely. I agree with all that. To an extent, she's still a lady, and she acts the part and knows her part. So that being said, I can see her having an affair with him, and nothing beyond that was saying her.
Respect, Peter Griffin. Peter Griffin says in the chat, and I'm gonna give him respect because a lot of people won't put stuff like this. I'm going out of the box a little bit. It's going to be John or no one. Hey, we're gonna remember that, and if that happens, we're gonna prop you out so hard. Everybody heard him say it. He put it in print. It's gonna be John or nobody.
Oh Lord, he's on there with Liz now, ain't he?
All right, PG. I got you on that. That's the way I'm a.
Here's the thing. With
Peter Griffin called that shit.
Gotta love Peter Griffin. He hangs till the end. I just love that about him.
Me too. Me too. Here's the thing about why I think it will be Tyrion too, though, is because he is number one represented. Kind of looks the part, and he's called the part all through books, show, everything. I mean, he's even called a little beast.
Right.
And he, the further he goes in his journey, the more he starts to. Have you noticed, like his appearance even takes on a more beastly look? Like his hair is growing out. His beard's growing out.
Kind of a similar thing. Like the more you get to know her and the more people around her get to know her, they realize that actually she's very beautiful.
But he's getting more monstrous looking, even more so the further we go into it, and
he's changed ever since Shay's death, a little. It's just gradually. And I don't know about y'all, but I think he has a thing for Danny. So I think he's just.
Well, I really don't think that. Okay, that's a good question. Moni, let's go with you. Do you think.
Let me finish, Jen. Let me finish.
I'm sorry. I didn't know you were.
No. But he still is represented by a Lannister, which is a beast, a lion. It's a beast, and it looks very similar to the beast's head. Now, the thing about this too is George R. Martin actually did the show back in the 80s, the Beauty and the Beast show. That was him, and it looks very, very similar. And
I remember the show. It was on when I was in the 6th grade.
I remember watching it as a kid. Yeah, no, and so
by the way, you guys, Beauty and the Beast, the book, it's not a Disney book. They adapted it. If you read the real book, it's much darker.
Story. Well, yeah, dude, think of the story. The dad he just stayed there to get out of the cold and the wet, and he threw him in his dungeon, man. So then in exchange, he takes his daughter. So he lets the old man. Yeah, that's
the story. Is that the father picked the rose
How about that creepy beast? Yeah. So, but I just think that Tyrion doesn't get more beastly. I think he.
I'm talking about just his appearance. Like he gets more shaggy looking.
Yeah. But just, I mean, he also loses his nose. You got to remember, half of his face is
Scampered, he gets more like where he doesn't care so much about the finer things in life and his appearance, and he lets his hair grow out and his beard grow.
But like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Because now does he even repulse like even his money? I'm sure he always will have enough money to have what he wants. But like, think about it. Half of his face, his nose is gone, dude.
Right.
That's some scary
hard.
stuff.
It becomes very skewed because Peter Dinklage is actually extremely.
Yeah, he's cool.
He's gorgeous.
Yeah. So that's
so it's
like,
real hard to separate that in your mind when you read both the books and the show.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But like in the book,
there's that one card like that I always. People put in their videos. I don't know which the artist is, but it shows him with his nose all but a smidge gone, and it's like, oh my god!
All right, Amanda.
Like he just has like this little scar across his nose. You know.
Thank you, Ree, for bringing my point about Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I wasn't even in chat, so I didn't know that. So you're welcome. I'm glad. Great minds think alike.
And then that Latin girl says. Yeah, it's not a Disney
out there related.
What I did and researched the original Little Mermaid story. Spoiler: it's not a happy ending. Yeah, those fairy tales, The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, they're very dark.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of Beauty and the Beast gifts out there that are related to Game of Thrones, so that explains it. Oh, because I was always like, what's with all these Beauty and the Beast gifts? Now I get it.
Oh, really?
You know what, though? I do believe, especially since he did that TV show.
Everyone on Facebook, Moni.
I definitely believe that he put some things of Beauty and the Beast in the story. Now, whether or not that takes place.
Well, yeah, and that can just be classic, like ugly duckling, gets the babe. And that's what I was saying in the chat. I was like, no, the beast never the
underdog,
but the troll never gets the girl.
That's the thing.
Shrek gets he gets the beauty, but he's not a troll. He's an ogre.
He's an ogre, yeah, and that's the thing too.
He's
like
not a troll. Trolls.
You're talking about Shrek? I didn't know that. And that's the thing, even though Kerri looks like, that's why I think Sansa will end up with him too, because she's gonna see that even with what he looks like and everything else, that he was actually the best choice, the best one for her. You know.
The only way that I see that happening is if her and Sandor have this crazy love affair. She has some baby, so it'll be out of wedlock because it won't be his. But then he comes to her and he's all super cool and says, "I'll raise the baby as mine." And she's like, "You're the coolest ever."
What if she has sex with? What if she has sex with the Hound, then turns around and have sex with Tyrion? That way, she can claim as the Lannister heir and take the throne.
No, I think that even if it was, I think it would be super noble for Tyrion to say, "You know what? I'll raise your baby." You know.
Oh yeah, but
it doesn't matter if it's my baby. I'll raise it, and then that will make her be like, "Oh."
Right. I just let me just say this to you.
But who knows? I don't know. I'm just being silly. It was like I finally had a good day. It's been a long month, and so
okay.
I shouldn't even come on, but I'm so glad I did. So I love you guys.
I love you too. I love you too with my whole heart, Moni. I do. You're somebody I know. Like I tell people over and over again, when you meet people in person that you've been friends with for a long time on the internet. Yeah, as long as they have not misrepresented themselves, it's like meeting an old friend, and I can definitely tell that when I meet you if you get to go, or if I have to go down to Michigan, or if you have to come here, it'll just be like meeting my old friend.
Oh yeah, dude.
I feel that way about every one of you girls.
I'm as dorky in real life as I
Right.
am.
Me too. I'm as loud and as silly, stupid, and quick to laugh at myself.
But I've been like a big Krabby Patty, so I'm sorry. So I love you guys.
I had a really rough week.
Okay.
Bad day.
Okay, breathing girl.
I'm sorry.
The Beauty and the Beast flipped on its head. I think
I totally. Well, you guys heard mine. I was like, I had like anti theories. I'm like, that's who I am tonight. I'm Mary, quite contrary.
Amanda, our resident Aussie,
about it. I'll be like, oh yeah.
Amanda, living on a prayer, our resident Aussie, says, as they say, never judge a book by its cover. I am loving reading these books with you guys. I feel the same way. Thank you so much for taking time out of your life to come and hang out with us. And I know
thank you.
People have real problems and real shit going on, but this is the thing I stop and do once a week. That, like, if I was on a bowling team or so, this is my free time, like what I do. Yeah, and also gangbangers, and also I think Carlisa's listening. She's got a great group on Facebook. You're on Facebook called The Imagination Realm, where she blogs and she just shares any tidbit of anything Game of Thrones or nerd related. I love it. I think we're friends on Facebook. Like, I'll send you the invite if you're not already on it. And then Amanda goes on to say, I think Tyrion is more worried who will rule after Jaime dies. I agree. Okay, the Baratheon girl. Oh, and I remember what I was going to ask after this. The Baratheon girl. I'm an accent whore. I'm here for a Song of Ice and Fire content delivered by wonderful real people with cool accents. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mandy. And
I will say y'all just for you.
Says, thank you very much.
For you. I'll say it for you.
Yeah. Look, I understand if you put the phone down just to listen because you need to do a bit of laundry or pick up after dinner. I get it.
Yeah, man, it's all good.
Yeah.
So
okay, this is the question I had.
Who's gonna do all the shout outs? Because we had a bazillion.
I'll do them. I got the list.
Ree has the list.
Yay! Thanks, Ree.
Yeah, click it. I got this. I got this.
Rock on. Hey, rock
on. Let me ask one final question, and then I guess we'll wrap up if y'all have to go.
Yeah, I probably should. I know I don't want to, but I should.
Right. It's getting late, though. We've gone an hour over our normal.
I know, but it was fun. Thanks, ladies.
It certainly was, and I'm so glad you made it. Okay, last thing. Two-part question. Everybody answering their turn. Do you think
let me do the shout outs real quick while I got it pulled up and then do the question. Can we do that?
Do our shout outs, baby girl.
Okay. First of all, Al, Red Sox fan, thank you. That Baratheon girl, AU Pack Mule, Damian Gonzalez, T Baby was here. I didn't see her. T Baby. The Nation Realm, of course, is always awesome. We had Nancy T, which is our mother of blankets, and Terry T. Mandy, we had all the Mandys tonight. The Fearless Mermaid, Living on a Prayer, Mandy Lynn. Septa Shayna was here, Septa Shayna Secrets, Felicia. So check out Citadel's Trivia. Check out Trivia Friday night.
Yeah, Trivia, always on Friday night.
Yeah. So, and we had Meyer 27, and we had Peter Griffin, which is always a pleasure. Is always
rock on,
right? Yeah.
Peter G was on a roll tonight. So was Mandolin 523.
Yeah, Andy, always
I know, we're rocking the Casbah.
I'm in love with the
There's an EDM song that's like just like kind of lighthouse music that is Rock the Casbah. It's in Broke Down Palace. The soundtrack. It's every time you say that's the song that I go to. Oh, living on a prayer, man. It says, I know what grits are now. I am going to cook them sometime. Look, dude, you can make them savory, or you can make them just, some people put a little sugar and butter and make them that way. I don't care for them that way. I like mine with just a good dollop of butter, a little bit of cream. After you boil them, a dollop of butter, some salt and pepper. That's me on them. A little parsley on them. Cheese grits is good too.
Yeah.
Hey, so did you get everybody? Oh, shoot. Oh.
Okay, this is the question we're going to go out with.
Okay.
Two-part question. Do you think Tyrion makes it to the end? And do you think he betrays anyone? If so, who does he betray?
Tyrion?
Yeah, because the chapter with Tyrion, does he live?
In the books or show? Books?
Do both separate.
Okay. I think he's going to live. And I think he's going to live in, I think for sure he's going to live in the books.
Okay.
I don't know about the show, but, and I think the two-part question, what was the other part?
Do you think he betrays Daenerys?
No, I don't think he does. For some reason, he's gonna pull off being true.
Yeah, I think so too.
Or do you guys think maybe he doesn't betray Daenerys, but for some reason it's viewed as a betrayal?
Well, sure, it could be, but unless he they do that, where she sacrifices herself or he sacrifices himself, and that's the betrayal. Like I said, my whole crazy Azora hype tonight.
I think Jaime's gonna get there in time before he does anything stupid.
I don't know.
From his bra.
I think what he's more, and I seen this or heard this. I didn't see it. I heard something about that. He said something about he was more worried about the political effects of them being together going into the north, of how the Northerners will take their relationship.
Right.
That's another question I had posed, and you weren't done. And I'm going to answer first. I don't think that Tyrion was in love with Daenerys. That look, I don't feel like was a look of jealousy or anything like that. I think it was a look of, oh shit, this is going to complicate now.
I have. It looks like your right hand man going, dude, this is not
right.
This is a bad idea.
Be good, right?
I think he finally found something that he believes in, is what it is. And he told her as much. I never believed in anything till I believed in you, and I think he does love her to an extent, but it's more of I don't even know.
It's that. Right now, remember, he didn't even want to hook up with Horus. He's kind of done with all that. But yeah, he loves her like a goddess almost, because he's the right hand. I think, but he doesn't worship her. I think that he just, it's that whole queen thing, and being worshiping your queen. He believes in her,
right?
But I don't think he'll betray his family. I don't think he'll ever betray his family.
Technically, she's not really his type either.
No.
Even on a prayer says, and I love her answer. Just very to the point. He does not betray anyone, and he will live. And she says, "I want them with prawns, as you all say, shrimp." That's very good. Also, if you have a chance, there's a very famous restaurant down here that does a barbecue style shrimp. You leave them in their wrap and everything, and it's shit. I can't remember.
Okay, wait. Did you finish?
But anyway, look up a barbecue shrimp recipe. Okay.
You read all the shout outs?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. And then I think that I do not think that Tyrion betrays anyone, and I do think he lives.
Yeah, I think so too. In both, but I don't know. Maybe the TV show he might die just because that might make it more dramatic. Unless, of course, my crazy, he's the Nisa giant that gets slayed at Winterfell.
Living on a Prayer says the problem is he loves his family. He loves his sister. Cersei is an effective ruler. In the end, Cersei may have to step down.
Cersei's not stepping down.
You and me,
no.
Team Supreme. Go ahead.
Cersei will never step down, man.
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
She's dying on that.
And I look for Dany to be.
Here's the thing, though, but she would secure her family's dynasty because she is worried about creating a dynasty. So if, say, Tyrion were to impregnate Sansa, that would secure an heir, and I think she'd be better and feel better about knowing that the Lannisters were going to rule, even though she doesn't have any children left.
Too, but she's so jealous of Sansa. And
I know, but she kind of helped create her, and she sees a lot of herself in Sansa.
Yeah,
in a lot of ways, it's like
the Blackwater.
Deja vu.
Especially going back to the Battle of the Blackwater when she was sitting there with Sansa, giving her a little advice, making her drink. She was jealous of the way the people followed her and the way she was, because she knew that whereas she herself always put on a front that she was this caring, loving, oh, everybody come be by me, women. Sansa really was that. She wasn't.
Right. But I think it's because at one time Cersei kind of was too. At least to an extent. I think she was kind of always a little
pushed the girl down the whale.
But she had the fairy tale views, and we know that because of how she tells us, you know.
Yeah, she does say that she was, and she did raise Marcella that way as well.
Right. She wanted that for her daughter. And so she did believe in it, and I think she'd seen that, and she just tried to teach Sansa that the reality of what it was and prepare Sansa. I think she was more of a mother to Sansa than friggin' Catelyn was, as far as the reality of what it was going to be in life, you know?
Prayer says the real younger, more beautiful person is Jon. That's my Maggie idea.
I love that. I love that.
Girl. At Living on a Prayer, Cersei is an effective ruler for herself, yes, but what all queens should know is they reign by the consent of the people. Outside of wartime, she would never last. Peter Griffin.
Yeah, but many rulers perpetuate war then.
Back again, party up, party people.
What?
Oh gosh, I wish we could all hang out sometime. We'd have so much fun.
I know it for sure, but you know what? I have my second date tomorrow.
Hey, I want to say something really quick, guys.
Yes.
It's midnight here, and that means it's officially Kerri's birthday. So happy birthday, Kerri Berry! I know you're in Tennessee, but we love you and we miss you tonight.
Kerri McDonald's birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday,
guys! I love you.
I'm so sorry,
guys. Y'all have a good night.
I will talk to you soon.
I'm sorry, Cammy. Okay.
Yeah, Cammy's off the call. Happened.
Thank you so much, Cammy, for being
everybody.
Welcome back anytime. You were such
Cammy, you did good.
Lovely guest, and we love you here at Book Club. You just, you can be on anytime. Thank you, Cammy. Just let me know. And that goes for anybody. Anytime you want to be on Book Club, just let me know. And you can message me at Jennifer Wolverton on Messenger. Just let me know, and we can make it happen. We can make it happen. And with that, I lost everybody else. So I guess we'll all say goodbye now. Next week, Chapter 4, Bran 1. Brian's going to be doing the overview. Everybody have a great weekend, a great week. Thanks so much.